not with me. And welcome back to Clinton, Tennessee, getting set for Oak Ridge High School football. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge getting set to take on the Clinton Dragons. And this will be the 62nd or 63rd time the two teams have played, depending on which school you ask. The Wildcats have dominated the series, going 49-12. The Wildcats have won 13 consecutive games in the series, but this is a very talented Clinton team. They'll be playing on their home field, and it should be an exciting matchup. Here in a few short moments, I'm going to go down to the field to Alex Myers, and he's going to be speaking to the former head coach, the all-time winningest coach in Oak Ridge High School history, Coach Joe Gaddis. He'll be directing the Wildcats tonight in place of Coach Derek Rang. He's going to be more managing the ball game. We'll let Coach Gaddis explain that to you. Well, I have an opportunity while we wait for Coach Gaddis and the Wildcats to make their way over from the middle school. Let me run down the starting lineups for the ball game. First off on offense, starting at left tackle will be Jared Baffert. He is a sophomore. Left guard, Elijah Young. He is also a sophomore. The center is Malachi Bonner. He is a junior. The right guard is Kanan Hickson, he is a senior. The right tackle is Ethan Eubanks, he is a junior. The quarterback tonight is Blaine Stansberry, he is a sophomore. The backfield consists of the tailback, DeJavis Dozier, he is a senior. Brandon Hayward will be a wide receiver, he is also a senior. Will Presley will start at receiver, he is a sophomore. Almani Rimbert will also start at receiver, he is a senior. And the 11th starter, a wide receiver on offense, a freshman, Valen Henderson. Starting on defense for the Wildcats at defensive end will be a senior, Elijah Bradley. At defensive tackle, sophomore, Tim Walters. Defensive tackle, Hayden Malcody. He is a senior. Defensive end, Malik Howard. He is a freshman. Bryce Dorsey, a senior, gets the start for the Wildcats at inside linebacker, along with J.T. Gormley, a sophomore. The jag position, Vashon Knowles. He is a senior player. The cornerback will be Brandon Hayward. He is a senior. Also at safety, Price Davis, Dallas Frent. Price is a senior. Dallas is a junior. The other cornerback is Valen Henderson. He is a freshman member of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. We're still moments away from the start of this game. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Clinton Dragons. We are live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. My name is David Clary, along with Alex Myers. He'll be joining us in a minute. Zach Dorman is doing camera work along with Ben George, Griffin Cox. We also have with us today John Ulrich, and the other camera guy on the field for the Wildcats, and I've just gone blank, is Matthew Charles. Mike Sheehan is up here with us. Our statisticians will be Mark and Shauna Hayes. Brian Bennett is back at the studios of FM 92.7. We are streaming this game live. We're waiting for the two teams to arrive on the field. The Clinton Marching Band has arrived, and they'll be playing the national anthem in a moment. We'll take a quick break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. It's Oak Ridge and Clinton live here from Clinton, Tennessee on a beautiful night in Anderson County. My name is David Clary, and we'll be back, hopefully with Coach Gaddis or the national anthem following this 3-minute timeout.
One final reminder for all of you late arrivals, all seating is general admission with the exception of the 3 sections in front of the press box, directly in front of the press box and on either side of the press box. If you're sitting directly in front of the press box and on either side of the press box, you may be asked to move with somebody who does have a reserve seat ticket. That's those directly in front of the press box and on either side of the press box. the Clinton High School Band, under the direction of Matt Bimstein, plays our national anthem.
It's our national anthem here from Clinton, Tennessee, getting set for Oak Ridge High School football. The Wildcats against their longtime rivals, the Clinton Dragons. Mark, you and I have seen a lot of these ball games. This is a very talented Clinton team. Coach Darrell Keith thinks this is the year of the Dragon, and we'll see how it all plays out here tonight in Clinton.
Yeah, I think Oak Ridge will have their hands full, especially with their quarterback there, David. So we'll have to see. Oak Ridge defense has really got to sit up and set the precedence early.
Kind of an unusual situation with the head coach of the Wildcats, Derek Rang, not able to attend because of those really unfortunate penalties down in McMinn County last week. But I think he's got a pretty good replacement here tonight that help kind of manage things on the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, if only you could find somebody with a little bit of experience, that would be great.
Coach Joe Gaddis is going to be kind of the guy kind of managing the Wildcats here. The defensive coordinators, the offensive coordinators, the assistant coaches will all be doing their regular jobs. And Coach Gaddis, he says he's just going to be there to make sure everybody stays off the sideline. And there might be some other things that he does during the course of this ball game, but he's just kind of in the role of a manager. Here in a few short moments, we're going to go down to the field. The Wildcats have yet to make their way towards the field. So I hesitate to take a break because I want to make sure we get Alex with Coach Gaddis down on the field here in a bit. It's always fun to come to Clinton, and a beautiful turf field here. I think the last time we were here might have been their first game, one of their first games ever, when they had the turf field here. It used to be just one of the more beautiful fields we actually went to, the grass field. The Clinton City has done a great job, honestly, for years, keeping this place up, and now they've got the artificial turf, just like about everybody else does, and it's just a beautiful facility. It is going to be a beautiful night here in Clinton, and we hope to have an exciting ball game for you. We are on FM 92.7. I kind of posted on my Facebook earlier, a lot of times older people who are not really comfortable with using the internet, YouTube, and watching our live streams, always can watch us on it or listen to us on FM 92.7. I had a couple older gentlemen today tell me they listen every week on FM 92.7, and we obviously appreciate them for what they do. We're also, like I said, streaming this game on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We're on Channel 15. We're on prepradio.com. I still have yet to see the Wildcats make their way over from the middle school, which is to our left. The Clinton band is playing down below, and we're just moments away from Wildcat football here on FM 92.7. Zach Dorman's up here doing camera work. You haven't seen him in a while, and good to have him back on the crew. We're going to take a break. We're going to send it back once again to Brian Bennett. When we come back, I believe Alex will have Coach Joe Gaddis, and we'll get to him following this 90-second timeout.
He's talking to senior captain Bashawn Knowles, and as soon as they get done talking, we're going to ask him a couple quick questions as he is back in coach mode, as we've talked about already and will continue to do so tonight. Bashawn Knowles getting instructions. Now Coach Gaddis is talking to another senior leader of this team, Brandon Hayward. He's telling these captains, if the coin toss goes one way, here's what we want to do. If we lose the coin toss, here's what we want to do. Coach Gaddis, a couple quick questions here. You're back in that locker room for the first time in a year and a half. First off, emotions going through your mind. You've done this a bunch of times, but never with this gap. What's going on in your mind right now?
Well, I mean, I convinced myself I was going to be a calm, collected kind of guy, but that ain't me. I was pretty excited over there. This is Clinton Oak Ridge. They've got the best team they've had probably since '09. I'm fired up. I don't know much about what's going to happen tonight. I can't call any plays because I don't know any, but I know what this game means. I know what it means to be the head football coach, and I'm excited about the game.
Before we let you go, Coach Rang is not on the sideline. That's why you're here. You said you're not going to be calling plays. What will your role be tonight?
I'll be calling timeouts. I'll be making fourth down decisions. I'll be deciding on penalties, sideline control, things like that.
All right, Coach, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Dave, back to you.
Thanks a lot. We are back here getting ready. The Wildcats have come onto the field. They are getting ready to send the captains out to the center of the field. And we're getting ready for Oak Ridge High School football. The Wildcats, coached by Derek Rang, the head coach of the Wildcats, as the captains, Bashawn Knowles, Price Davis, Brandon Hayward, and Elijah Bradley about to stroll out to the center of the field. The Wildcats wearing their gray pants and white jerseys, cardinal numerals. The Dragons wearing their home blacks with orange and white. A lot of camera personnel. There's a lot of media surrounding this. Coach Gaddis, one of the things Coach Gaddis told me, he did not want this story to be about him. He wanted it to be about the Oak Ridge-Clinton matchup as the captains are walking out to the center of the field. Here in a second, we'll have the toss of the coin. We're going to take one more quick break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll come back for the kickoff. Oak Ridge and Clinton, the Wildcats, and the Dragons. We'll be back in 60 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers and a host of others helping us out here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. It was so loud, Alex, I couldn't honestly hear you very well. What did Coach Gaddis have to say?
Well, he was first off telling those guys, Bashawn and the captains down there, Brandon Hayward, etc., here's what we're going to do. If we want, looking into the sun, he was pointing directions, telling them as they're out there at midfield right now, if we win the coin toss, here's what we want to do. If we lose the coin toss, here's how we want to defend it. Besides that, he said, I came into this game thinking, of course, I'm going to be calm, cool, collected, and he kind of paused and laughed and gave me a grin and said, that's just not me. That was never going to happen, and I got a little bit fired up back there, which David Clary is not a shock to anyone who's ever met the man in his life. And then beyond that, I said, Coach, what's your role today? He said, I don't know the playbook. I'm not calling plays, but he did say he's down here to manage this game sort of from a 50,000-foot view, if you will. Call timeouts, tell his team when to go for it. But he's not calling plays. That will be up to Coach Rusty Parton on the offensive side and then Coach Hawkins on the defensive side.
The officials have met, and we're about to get set. Some of the Wildcats headed to the right end zone to our right to do a prayer before the ball game. I'm excited about this one. I've seen a lot of it. I was telling you guys over when I first came over that where we're sitting right here, actually on the roof behind us, was the first place I ever did a ball game. I was 15 years old, the first Oak Ridge Clinton game that I broadcast, and I'm well past that, but I'm still just as excited today as I was so many years ago.
And why not? Because this is one of the best teams Clinton has fielded probably in a couple of decades. I say one of them. They've had some good some good teams, some good talent, but they've struggled to put it together over the past, well, probably since mid-2000s or so. But Coach Gaddis actually told me, and maybe this is Johnny Major's coach talk, but he told me down on the sidelines this is the best roster they've had since 2009.
Well, we'll see. As we're about to get set, the Wildcats and Dragons, this is a televised game on Channel 12, but we like those guys over there, but just stay tuned with us on our stream here. Zach Dorman's doing camera work. Always good to have him. Matthew Charles is back with us. We got Ben George. We don't have Josh Frazier with us. We hope everything's okay with him. He was unable to make it today at the last moment. The Wildcats will be receiving the opening kickoff, and Coach, I was told today that if the Wildcats won the toss, they were going to take the ball regardless. They weren't not going to defer. They were going to take the ball to start the game. The Wildcats will be moving from left to right as the Dragons prepare to kick. They've had some interesting kind of days kicking the ball this year. They haven't had their best efforts sometimes. Nothing against this young man, number 53, who's about to kick off for them. That'll be Emmanuel Ortiz. He's only a freshman. He doesn't kick it very far, so the Wildcat up guys need to be prepared for this one. As the Oak Ridge Wild Band plays to our right, the crowd coming to their feet. And here's the kickoff of the ball game. It's very short. It's going to be fielded on a hop by Dozier at the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 33-yard line, and he was an ankle tackle away, Alex Myers, from taking that to the end zone.
Yeah, it's a little short hop. Honestly, I thought Brandon Hayward could have and probably should have caught that. Instead, he does the unselfish play, lets the ball bounce. It goes back to his running back, and Hayward turns into a blocker. That little hesitation almost messed Clinton's timing up, and they almost got out of their lanes as a kicking unit.
Dozier is in the backfield. Blaine Stansberry is the quarterback. Movement across the line. The Dragons are going to be penalized 5 yards. The Wildcats, I think one of the keys in the game, obviously this Clinton team is really star-studded with offensive talent. The Wildcats want to do kind of what McMinn County did a week ago, and that's maintain the balls, long drives, and score points, obviously. We'll come back to that in a second. Here's the pitch to Brandon Hayward. Needs a block. He's at the 40, at the 45-yard line, at midfield. That's a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Nothing fancy, just a little toss to Brandon Hayward, and it's 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, good concentration by Brandon off the little toss, acting like a running back coming from the left slide in a slot position, coming across the right, bobble the ball, able to hold on to it, and credit to Dozier. DeJavis Dozier usually having guys block for him. That time he was the blocker out on the edge, didn't just bump a guy, got knocked off it, and then came back and blocked. Great second effort to help spring him.
The Wildcats have 2 receivers to the right. Here comes a reverse to Brandon. He's going to fumble the football, and that's going to be a touchdown for Clinton. Chauncey Felts picks up the turnover. It was a little dipsy-do, razzle-loo, and the Wildcats can't hold on to it, and it's 6-0 Clinton.
It's interesting, David, because the play before that on the simple toss, Brandon Hayward bobbled the ball, and I thought maybe that's just Brandon. I don't know what happened, but 2 plays in a row where there's a bobbled little toss and it was to 2 different players, so I don't know what the common denominator there is. I don't know what the issue is, if it's just happenstance. Regardless,
nerves.
Regardless, Oak Ridge, they're on their home side, though. It's just, yeah, high emotional game, that's for sure. Unfortunately, Oak Ridge down 6-0.
And Ortiz is going to attempt the extra point. Great start for the Dragons. Low snap. Kick is on its way. It's angling to the right. No good. Hits the cross up bar, and it is no good. So the Dragons take a 6-0 lead with 11:40 to play on a fumble return. We'll be back to Clinton with another kickoff in 60 seconds. You love it.
Number 3. No, you stink. I was hoping you weren't going to have.
Welcome back once again to Clinton. The Dragons on top 6-0 on a fumble return just 20 seconds into the game. Here's the kick. It's short. It's going to be fielded by Brandon Hayward, this time at the 25, to the 30, to the 35. And that is where he is tackled hard by the Clinton Dragons, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over. First down and 10 yards to go.
Well, you know, there's an old saying I've heard coaches talk about before. You get down early in a game, a high emotional game. This is a long game, though, and if Oak Ridge ultimately, if they can't score one touchdown, if they can't score 6 points to make up for that, then they don't deserve to win this game anyways. It's a long game. Take a deep breath. Oak Ridge was moving the ball. It was only a couple plays into the drive. They were moving the ball. Just relax, take a breath, and play football.
Flags are down on the play. Let's see if we have an illegal procedure against the Wildcats. We had several of those the other day in the McMinn County ball game. The Wildcats only were able to get 3 points on the board against McMinn County. The Wildcats appear to be maybe a little bit nervous.
Yeah, no doubt. And to be honest with you, they looked like the calmer team to start. Clinton had an early false start. Their kick wasn't good. Oak Ridge was rolling, and now one little slip up, and now Oak Ridge looks like emotions are going against them.
First and 15. Here's the handoff to Dozier, and Dozier moves the ball forward. I believe it's Dozier. He does, across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. It'll be second down facing the Wildcats. Second down and 8 yards to go. A gain of about 7 on the play.
And that's what I want to see from Oak Ridge. I know we can get fancy. I know we've got speed on the edge, but I've yet to see a team stop Davish Dozier this year.
Two receivers split to the left. Stansbury's rolling that way. Might run. There's going to throw it across the way. Pass is caught, and that is close to a first down at around the 45-yard line. Brandon Hayward on the Clinton sideline. It'll be short of a first down by a yard. It'll be for the Wildcats. Third down and 1 yard to go.
Great job by Blaine Stansbury. The pocket moved left. He rolled left. It was a design rollout, but instead of just flinging the ball and being kind of inaccurate like it's easy for a high school player to do when they're don't have their feet set, he turned and squared his shoulders up at the last second. Great job.
Third down, a yard to go. Here's the handoff to Dozier. He had a first down. He is not. He is stacked up at the line of scrimmage, which is the 45-yard line. Let's see if Coach Gaddis, his first decision, what he's going to do. Coach Parton, Coach Branson, Joe Gaddis, they're going to go for it.
Yep.
Fourth down, so that's the first big call by Coach Gaddis.
Yeah, it is, and this is he's making the calls ultimately, David, but Coach Parton was right there in his ear. No doubt that they both agreed on this one.
It'll be fourth down, a yard to go. Receivers left and right. Stansbury and the Wildcats trying to get him to jump off. James Branson signals in a new play from the Oak Ridge sideline. 6-0 Dragons. Stansbury under center. It's a bad snap again.
They're going to get saved. Oak Ridge is going to get saved. It was a false start, and that's the happiest you'll ever be to see a penalty if you're an Oak Ridge fan. That just saved them a huge, huge loss and potentially a turnover that Clinton would have had a chance to pick up and score again.
So now the Wildcats will have to bring the punt team in. The clock is wound. 10:14 to play. Here in the first quarter is 6-0, and the Dragons are going to get their hands on the ball for the first time offensively. Eli Pearson, the sophomore punter, is in the ball game to punt. I don't know what happened on that snap there, but we'll talk about that in a second. Here comes Eli Pearson. His fourth down and about 7. It's a good snap by Hibben. Here's the Hibben. The punt is away, and it's going to go bounding out of bounds at around the 25-yard line of the Dragons, and that is where Clinton will take over, first and 10.
Yeah, it was a pretty good punt there. Unfortunately, angled to the side, so it did hit inbounds. It was going to take a nice Oak Ridge bounce. Unfortunately, it was so close to the sideline, he only got the benefit of a couple extra yards before it rolled out of bounds. Clinton's getting set up here. First and 10, ball on their own 25. 9:51 to go in this opening quarter, and David down 6-0. The defense, this is not the first time they've been packed. I think back to that Jefferson County game when their backs were against the wall early. They weren't dealt the best hand, but they bowed up and they helped Oak Ridge win that game, and no doubt they'll have to do that again here after a slow start.
Senior quarterback Joshua Keith, he's a talent, a 4-year starter for the Clinton Dragons. He is the son of Darrell Keith, the head coach of Clinton. They've got Goins in the backfield, receivers to the right and left. There's the quarterback. He's going to be trying to move the ball. He is going to elude some tackles. Now he is sacked back at the 15-yard line. There was nothing to his left, nothing to his right except white shirts, and it's a big loss on first down.
Yeah, and it was Gormley for Oak Ridge who I think wrapped him up initially. There was a couple other guys that hit him first. Gormley was the first one that ended up finishing the tackle, but he had a lot of help. Great job. That's what you got to watch. Keith is really a guy who I think he's a dual threat guy who's most dangerous with his legs, but he wants to beat you with his arms. But he can do that, and he will do that. And Oak Ridge was very prepared that play.
Losses back to the 18-yard line. It's second down, 18 yards to go. Keith to pass, fires a pass, intercepted Oak Ridge. Brandon Hayward picks it off, threw it right into his hands. The big senior picks off the little senior. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Brandon Hayward he looked like, if we've got a shot of that from the sideline, our crew, David, it's going to look like he was receiving that as a wide receiver, not a cornerback. He tiptoed the sideline like an NFL player trying to get both feet in, and it looked like he was receiving it just off a comeback route. I don't know if that's scouting. I don't know if it's instinct, film watching, what it was, but Brandon Hayward read that like a book.
2 big turnovers. Now the Wildcats want to try to take advantage of it. 1st and 10 at the Clinton 25. DeJavis Dozier across the 20-yard line up to the 19-yard line. It'll be second down facing the Wildcats. 8 minutes, 55 seconds to play here in the first quarter. It is a 6-0 ball game with the Wildcats trailing the Clinton Dragons.
Yeah, it's huge right here. You got to capitalize if you're Oak Ridge. Second down here, second and medium. The whole playbook's open in front of you. They got the big freshman in there as the H-back instead of a Sean Knowles like we've seen sometimes.
He's on the right side. 2 receivers split to the right. Here comes Dozier. Big hole. Dozier across the 15-yard line down to the 14-yard line. I thought for a while he was going to get to the outside. It'll be third down and less than a yard to go for a first down for the Wildcats.
You talked about the big freshman, Malik Howard, 6'3". That may be shortchanging the guy at 6'3", 205. They put him in there, motioned him over to the right side, and he just acted as a blocking tight end, helped seal the edge to help spring him for near the first down.
They're actually going to say, Alex, it is a first down, a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats have it right at the 15-yard line. You can't really keep up with the scoreboard. It's not exactly accurate. Here comes Dozier. Dozier moves the ball to the 10-yard line. Wildcats keeping it on the ground with their big senior running back, the bulldozer, DeJavis Dozier.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Continue to run him. Still pretty early in the season. He's got fresh legs. Use your horse. That's what you got to do. This is the guy who's been your most consistent player by far. Your offensive line has looked good. Keep rolling.
Gain of 3 on the play, second down, 7 yards to go. The ball is right at the 10. Blaine Stansbury to pass, looks to pass, got a big block, turns the ball up the field, and is going to go to the 5 and popped out of bounds. And a flag goes down. That's going to be a personal foul against the Clinton Dragons.
It's going to be an automatic first down, too, which is the biggest thing. But, boy, I thought the rush in off the far side was going to come back and potentially strip sack Blaine Stansbury. I wasn't sure he saw him, but one guy saw him, Malik Howard, and boy, did he ever put a licking on that guy. He was back there protecting Big Brother, the quarterback.
Big block for the freshman. The Wildcats have it. Eventually, they're going to put it down, it looks like, right at the 3-yard line, where it'll be for the Wildcats. First down, goal to go in a 6-0 ball game. Dozier, and flags are down. We're going to have illegal procedure against the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. Something just didn't quite look right. And the receivers, Bryce Davis, Brandon Hayward, look like they're signaling over to the sideline, or maybe they're signaling to Blaine. I'm not sure. Maybe they weren't set. Coach Mitchell helps out with the wide receivers. He's looking over at the receivers. I'm thinking it was probably, based on their body language, one of the receivers.
They're going to put the ball back down after the 5-yard step off here. 7 minutes, 14 seconds and counting. 6-0 our score. The Wildcats with 2 receivers split to the left. Stansbury, quarterback. Hands it to Dozier, reverses field, moves the ball, spins to the 5, drives to the 4. It looked like he was going to be hit and maybe drop for a loss in the backfield. He was able to spin out of the first initial wave. It'll be for the Wildcats. Second down and goal to go at the 4.
And the reason he did that, he avoided 2 guys before he ever got to the tackler that he spun out of. And I'm going to finish this thought after this play, Dave.
Stansbury brings him up, second down, goal to go at the 4-yard line. Looking over to the sideline, the offensive coordinator is Rusty Parton. He's calling the plays tonight. Wildcats have Dozier on the right side of Stansbury. He's going to get the handoff. He stumbles, moves to the goal line, takes it across for an Oak Ridge High School touchdown. But I haven't seen the signal. Where's the signal? He got across the line. Nobody saw it. Unbelievable.
I thought he was laying in the end zone.
He looked like he was from here. Neither side had an idea. It'll be third down, goal to go at the 1. Power it across, Dozier. Stansbury hands it to Dozier. There we go. throw into the end zone. That's 6 points, and we're tied with 5 minutes and 57 seconds to play in the first quarter. 6-6 our score, and the Wildcats will go for the extra point.
And now what we can do is we can take the lead right here. That extra point miss from Clinton, you mentioned it, their kicking game not quite as consistent as we've seen from Oak Ridge and some of the opponents we've played thus far. Now, Pearson, with the hold from Washington, has a chance to give Oak Ridge the lead.
The Wildcats, Eli Pearson to give Oak Ridge the lead if he can knock down the extra point. Ball is down, the kick is on its way, it's up, and it's good. The Wildcats take advantage of the Joshua Keith interception and turn it into 6 points. 7-6 Wildcats. Will be back to Clinton in 60 seconds. What? He's got my phone. He's got my phone. What is it? What?
It looks like James Branson's calling the plays.
He is.
I thought it would be.
He's getting him from Parton. Well, we've had a lot of action here in the first few minutes of this ball game. 7-6, the Wildcats in the lead. Oak Ridge getting set to kick off. Eli Pearson will kick off for the Wildcats. He's a sophomore. Looks like he wants to pop it up as he angles to the left, and they do pop it up over towards the Oak Ridge sideline, and it's going to be recovered by Clinton. I'll tell you, Will Presley could have caught that ball and taken it in for a touchdown. He did not look up. That ball was his.
Has that ever happened twice in a season? Because I agree with you. He was full speed ahead, and you're not trained to turn around and look for the ball like that. You're just supposed to go down there and make the tackle. If he'd have caught that, I think he could have taken it in.
And here comes the Oak Ridge defense. Vashon Knowles, Walters, Threet, along with, looks like Elijah Bradley, Bryce Dorsey, JT Gormley, along with Balin Henderson and the others. We'll get those in a second. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 32-yard line. Goins, the running back, 3 receivers split to the right. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, facing a 3-man front. 5:57 to play, first quarter. 7-6 is our score. The Wildcats in the lead. Keith gets the snap, will pitch to Goins. He tries to make a move. The move is down to the turf at Clinton as the Wildcats were all over that play.
And one of the Oak Ridge's best attributes from their defensive back, Hayward, Price Davis, Dallas Frint, those guys, and there's an extra laundry on the field now. I think Oak Ridge is going to get called for a personal foul, maybe a little talking, I'm not sure. But one of Oak Ridge's best strengths, although they're not huge out there, they play and hit you so hard and they're so aggressive, and that's how you've got to do. This Clinton running back is big. He's powerful. If he gets ahead of steam, you've got to have a bunch of guys there to wrap him up.
Coach Rang, Coach Gaddis, they told him you cannot run your mouth in this ball game because they are going to call it close. And obviously, Tim Walters was the guy, and Coach Gaddis greets him as he comes off the field. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. I don't know what he said, but you just cannot do that in a ball game like this. And he's getting the what for down on the sideline. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball for the Dragons now at the 48-yard line. The Wildcats made a positive play. Here comes Keith rolling to his right. Wants to go deep. High arcing pass. The cheerleaders make the catch across the way. It was way out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And that ball hung on him. Even if it was in bounds, the wide receiver was open downfield initially, but it kind of hung in the air. And this is one thing I want to compare, see if you like this comparison or if you disagree with me. If you do, it's okay. You're probably a smart man for doing so. But Josh Keith and the Powell quarterback from last year, David, both of them very, very talented, both of them dual threats.
Yes. But
both of them have a tendency to put a couple balls up for grabs every game, and you've already seen Keith do it once here.
3 receivers split to the right. Once again, 2nd down, 10 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons. Joshua to pass, has all day. Goes deep again. Wildcats are there. Pass is batted away. Batted away. Batted away. Bryce Davis. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Bryce Davis, just, you can't play a ball better than that. He was with them every step of the way. As the ball floated a little bit, he adjusted himself. And then as the guy tried to climb up over his back, he used his hops, outstretched his arms. You just can't. I mean, they ought to put that play on a replay when they're teaching young defensive backs. Perfect play, Bryce Davis.
5:19 to play. First quarter, 7-6 the score. 3 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. Keith, the lone man in the backfield. 3-man front. Keith to pass. Pressured. Crossed away. Pass. Complete. Lots of contact. Nicely thrown. Just zipped it in there somehow. 1st and 10 Dragons.
And I think Clinton had 2 guys essentially running the same route, or they were in the same spot when that ball was delivered. Looked like a miscommunication between one of their receivers, but like you said, he zipped it in there and put it on the receiver's hands so quickly he had no option but to catch it. Nice play right there from the Dragons, and they're driving inside the Oak Ridge 40.
Ball is officially at the 34-yard line of the Wildcats in a 7-6 ball game. 4 minutes, 55 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter from Clinton. 2 turnovers resulting in points for both teams. Keith with 3 receivers to his right. Back to pass. Wildcats have had no pressure on him. Here's a pass out of the backfield. Nice move to number 9. He makes the catch, then driven down hard at the 31-yard line.
That's Jawan Goins, and that's what I'm talking about. He's a big back. Looks like a tight end back there at running back. He's kind of top heavy. He's a big, strong guy, very powerful upper body, and he's good. I mean, he's a very good running back. The problem with Clinton, I saw him play West, and in that game, I know they were a little bit short-handed from their offensive line. I think they had some guys dinged up. The problem wasn't Goins. The problem in that one was they couldn't give him anywhere to run. If he gets the ball in space, he's really tough to bring down.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. A gain of 3 on the play. The ball's at the Oak Ridge 31-yard line. There's Goins. He is hit. Malcody, Malik Howard, and another white shirt. Blast him. That's JT Gormley. It'll be possibly a half a yard on the play. 3rd down and long facing the Dragons.
Yeah, 3rd and about 7 here. I think they're going to spot it. And you have to think with Clinton's kicking woes, just what we've seen so far, you got to act like this is 2nd down for all intents and purposes. As an Oak Ridge defender, you know they've got 2 plays to pick this up.
Let's take a quick break. A timeout is asked for by somebody. It looks like an injury timeout to Bryce Davis and an official's timeout. Let's see if they bring him back. We've got a 7-6 ball game. Oak Ridge in the lead. 3:41 to play. We'll be back to Clinton in 30 seconds.
Officials timeout.
Keep it up, Ted. Third down, 7 yards to go. Joshua Keith rolls to his right, has running room if he elects to run. Now fires across the way. It's almost intercepted.
TJ.
Wildcats almost pick it off. It'll be 4. It'll be TJ Hibben there. Almost picked off the pass. It's 4th down facing the Dragons.
How about TJ Hibben? That wasn't on my bingo card, David. Seeing him almost intercept a ball tonight. He snaps for the Wildcats. He plays defensive line. That time, he was dropping back in coverage, I guess as a linebacker, sort of a defensive end, kind of a hybrid guy. Nearly came away with interception. Now, 4th and 7. If you're Coach Gaddis, if you're coach for this Oak Ridge team, you got to be saying, watch Joshua Keith's legs.
Yeah, he almost could have run for that if he elected to. 4th down, 6. He is going to roll to his right this time. Lots of pressure now coming in on him. He's going for his life. He gets away from the 1 man. He gets away from the 2nd man. There's a block in the back. There should have been. Here's Keith diving for the 1st down marker. It'll be 1st and 10.
Yeah, see Wildcat defensive coach Ricky Chitwood, one of the defensive assistants down there on the line, and he's yelling for a block in the back. I think you're right, but they didn't call it. Athletic play. We said you got to watch his legs. Oak Ridge did everything but finish that tackle, and Clinton gets a 1st down.
Good play again. I told you the key in the ball game is Joshua Keith. You talked about their good receivers. They've got a good running back, but Joshua Keith is the key to the Dragons' success. He hasn't exactly thrown the ball perfectly today, but his legs.
Yeah. And he actually is a guy who wants to throw. He would prefer to throw, I believe. Now, I think you're probably going to see a run right here, David. He's out of breath. I don't think it'd be smart to put the ball in his hands.
From the 23-yard line, Goins does get the call, and he is hit by the Wildcats' Bryce Dorsey. Initially, the Wildcats had a couple other guys around there. It'll be for Clinton. a gain on the play. We'll call it 2. Second down, 8 yards to go. The ball is resting at the Oak Ridge 21-yard line. 3:04 to play here in this first quarter. 7-6 our score.
First time all game, it kind of seems like both sidelines have kind of taken a breath and said, okay, everybody catch your breath for a second. Second and long coming up. Now I think he's caught his breath. I think pass and run's probably both back in play right here, Dave.
Keith at quarterback, Goins behind him. 2 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Keith on a high snap, fires it out of the backfield to Goins. Here comes Goins trying to run. Oh, what a tackle! What a tackle! Price Davis came out of nowhere, knocked him down at his ankles, and it's a loss on the play.
And those people who are not in the stadium won't see this. Price, his effort level is immeasurable right now. He came out of the game with I don't know, it appeared to be some sort of an illness. Read between the lines on that one. He's given his all for this team right now. It's hard to imagine a defensive back playing a better first quarter of football than Price Davis has in this one.
Third down, 11 yards to go. The ball is now at the 24-yard line of the Wildcats in a 7-6 game. Here comes Joshua wanting to run. Fires a pass. Pass is caught. Touchdown. Great drive once again. Did you see a flag or what?
No, but I should have. And Coach Gaddis saw the same thing I said. He was well beyond the line of scrimmage when he started to take off and run, and then he decided to fling it last second after Oak Ridge is committed to try to get him. That shouldn't have counted, but it did.
Coach Gaddis is out on the field. You're exactly right. He was beyond the line of scrimmage. The official, the older gentleman with the white beard, I guess he didn't see it. And they'll go for the extra point. Will they go for 2?
Yeah, they're going to go for 2. They want to chase points early here and try to get back up by 7 points. But if you're Oak Ridge, that's a tough break. You've had a couple of those early on in this drive.
And they'll go for 2. 2-point conversion tried by the Dragons. It's a 12-7 ball game. Goins, the running back. Keith, the quarterback. He's going to roll to his right, hand it off to Goins. He is hit, and he'll go down shy of the goal line. Fumbles the football anyway, and the 2-point conversion try fails. We're going to take another break here. We're down to 1:49 to play here in the first quarter. The Dragons have a 12-7 lead. We'll be back with their kickoff in 60 seconds.
I don't chase points early. I know you like it. I don't chase points early.
I wouldn't. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers here in Clinton while the Dragons have retaken the lead. We've had a lot of offense and new kicker in the game, as you're exactly right. Let's see what he can do. It's a boot to the right. It's going to go bounding and it's going to go out of bounds. Let's see if they take the penalty or make them kick it again. The Wildcats would have it at the 35-yard line. Let's see what Coach Gaddis elects to do. He is going to say, stay on the field there. Yep. And they're going to make them kick it again, I guess. I guess they are.
Yeah, and I think it's the right call. I mean, especially you're kind of rolling the dice every time you go to kick it if you're Clinton right now. I mean, they miss an extra point early, and both of their kickoffs have not been great. And I don't think they're surprised by this. They just kind of are what they are from a kicker standpoint, but they've got a new kicker in. Now the kicker who just kicked that goes back to the sideline. He's getting instructions from Coach Keith. Now Clinton will be having to kick the ball off from their own 35-yard line. All this time, DeJavis Dozier, Brandon Hayward, Almani Rembert, the 3 guys deepest for Oak Ridge, plotting back there, scheming, trying to find a way to take this one back if they can just get a chance.
1:49 to play here in the first quarter of a 12-7 ball game, live from Clinton on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. Here's the kick by the Dragon. Little end over and kick. Dozier's going to field it on a dead run at the 20, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down and 10 yards to go.
So you wonder, was it worth it? It absolutely was. You gain a couple extra yards that time by doing that, and the Wildcats take over. So Oak Ridge has had 2 drives so far, and how I look at this is the second drive scored is obviously successful. They had short field to go, but the first drive was going great. They got a penalty, they had a near turnover, but they've shown that they can move the ball on these guys. They just have to be patient.
Blaine Stansberry at quarterback. He's a sophomore, 2 receivers to his right. Stansberry gets the snap, hands it to Dozier. Dozier 40, stiff arms to the 45. Sutter steps his way out of bounds right at the 49-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play, more like 7. It'll be second down and short.
There's pros and cons when we go to these away stadiums and we're a little bit closer. Sometimes it's harder to see, but we can hear. But David, I think if we were at the top on Blankenship, we'd have no problem hearing the hits going on here tonight. Both of these teams, offensively and defensively, they are being very aggressive. They came to play tonight.
Second down, 3 yards to go. The Wildcats at their own 49-yard line. Hickson on the line. Well, here's a fumble and another fumble, and Clinton's got it. That is the second turnover of the ball game. And they've got great field position. You cannot turn the ball over like that.
No, not in a game like this. I mean, you just can't do it. I mean, Oak Ridge is and I believe this is the better football team, but with the emotions, with the talent they have, with the emotions at play on the road, things going against you, calls going against you, the last thing you can do is hurt yourself, and that's exactly what Oak Ridge has done here through almost one quarter.
You know, Wildcats have not had any trouble really with fumbles all season long.
And on a dry night like tonight, artificial turf, I mean, there should be no reason why the ball's popping around. I've seen Clinton bobble a few balls. It's not just Oak Ridge. I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot of moisture in the air. I don't know unless it's just nerves.
That's what it is. It's just total nerves, a big ball game like this in front of a big crowd. So the Dragons back on offense. Wildcats need to stop. They need some pressure on Keith here as he's going to get a little blitz here from the backside from Knowles. He throws the ball away. It's a fumble. No. Bashawn Knowles gets in there. The referee, the guy with the white hat, said his arm was moving forward. It'll be second and 10.
I've got my Oak Ridge Cardinal shirt on, so you know my opinion, but to be honest with you, if I'm trying to not be biased, it was close. It was. And I think Oak Ridge has an argument, but I'm not gonna rag the guy too hard because it was really close.
But good pressure that time by Sean.
And if nothing else, it makes him think about it the next time he goes back to drop, because that's really one of the first times he's been pressured early all night.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 48. A minute 29 to play first quarter. Keith back to pass, pressured again. Fires a pass, caught. What a pass. What a catch. What a run. It's almost a football. The Wildcats have it. Gormley's got it. Gormley's got it. He did everything right. He made a beautiful throw, a beautiful catch, a beautiful run, and then a beautiful fumble if you're a Wildcat fan, and they'll take over first and 10.
Yeah, the last line of defense, Dallas Sprint back there, he didn't make the tackle, but he made contact, slowed him down enough to where one of his fellow defensive back brethren could come back, ended up stripping the ball. And like we talked about there's no reason the ball's flying around this much, but if you're Oak Ridge, we'll take it.
Wildcats take over at the 21-yard line. A minute 22 to play. These last 2 minutes of this quarter have gone on forever. It'll be first and 10 Wildcats. Handoff to Javis Dozier. Dozier, big hole, 30-yard line. And that is where he's tackled. A fine run by the Javis.
Yeah, and a really nice tackle by Jawan Goins. If he doesn't make that tackle, he's still running, and you're screaming touchdown.
I'm getting some text from non-Oak Ridge people who are saying that we are not exactly getting the right calls here.
Well, hey, we can't get, what are they going to do, fine us? We work for free. After last week, we're used to it.
Second down, 2 yards to go for the Wildcats. Pass, Caught. Elmonte Rimbert, 1st and 10 Wildcats. Nice throw, nice catch. Rimbert 1st and 10 at the Oak Ridge 41-yard line.
Nice throw, nice catch, and really nice protection up front. We're talking about Oak Ridge's defensive line trying to urge them to get some pressure. Well, Oak Ridge's offensive line has done a really nice job, especially in pass protection early on in this game, and they did it again right there.
Down to 36 seconds to play in the first quarter in a 12-7 ball game. Clinton on top of the Wildcats. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge at their own 41-yard line. Dozier gets the call. Dozier, 45. Dozier to the outside, to the 46-yard line. Almost again got to the outside. Was trying to work around a block from Will Presley. Couldn't quite get there as the first quarter is about to come to a close. So our score after one quarter of football here at Clinton, Tennessee. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge trail it 12-7, and we'll be back with the second quarter in 60 seconds.
Busier tonight.
That's worth $500 Christmas Club dollars. Our contestant tonight is Jeff Bean. You'll be going to that $500 for Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever he wants to go for. Let's help him out. And drop it in from 3 yards out to us. Your support can help him. Jeff Bean for the 500. A little bit to the left. Once again, the price for that
Try to get some more of the Clinton guys' names.
Okay.
Yes, he is. Welcome back once again to Clinton. What a great first quarter of action we saw. Too many turnovers. Both teams will tell you that. 12-7, Clinton on top. The Wildcats have it. Second down, 4 yards to go. Ball at their own 47-yard line. Two receivers to the right. Shotgun for Blaine Stansbury, the sophomore quarterback. He has time. Wants to go deep. Does. Pass. Will Presley. Oh, he can't make the catch.
Not a flag.
He was held. Nothing again. He was tackled.
Literally fell down and tripped and wrapped his arms around Will's waist, about pulled his britches down as he's going for the ball.
Well, I mean,
there's been a few of these, and I've tried to be unbiased, and I've said there's been a few that are close, but there's been a couple that it's just like, what are we looking at?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys. I don't like to say officials cause winning or losing of ball games.
They don't, but they've got a roll, and they need to play it.
Yes, it'll be third down and 4 yards to go. Dozier outside with a block, 50, moves the ball forward. He's close. He's very close to a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. I believe he's got it.
I think so. We're a little bit offset of the 50 here. Kind of like looking at the gas gauge when you're on the passenger seat. I think we had it. And David, what's the decision?
It's a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats have it in Dragon territory at the 49-yard line, trailing by a score of 12-7. Wildcats will have Will Presley, Brandon Hayward split to the right side. Dozier in the backfield. Elmonte Rimbert to the left. Handoff Dozier. Dozier moves the ball forward. A lot of between the tackles running here. I'd love to see him get outside.
Yeah, no, and like you've said it, you just kind of get the feeling he's going to break one. It's a matter of when, because he's gotten close and close and close, and Clinton is just shoestring tackling him, and eventually you feel like he's going to pop one.
Ball is at the 47-yard line. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go for Stansbury. Stansbury to pass. Across the way, he passes incomplete. Intended for Vashon Knowles. It was high, and Vashon took a really hard shot in the back. It'll be third down and long facing the Wildcats.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just when you go across the middle, that's one of the risks you take, and that just kind of floated on him a little bit high and kind of left Vashon out to dry. And if there's anybody that can take that hit and pop back, it'll be Vashon, but that's a tough one.
Three receivers split to the right, third down, 8 yards to go. Once again, Balin Henderson is now a receiver. The Wildcats have Rimbert. Here comes some passing. Here comes a screen pass. There's Dozier, 40, first down more, 30, 25. He's popped good, but it's 1st and 10 Wildcats. DeJavis Dozier out of the backfield, 1st and 10 Wildcats.
And one of the things, we've seen a lot of great running backs in Wildcat history, but over the last 10, 15 years, I don't know that I've ever seen another Wildcat over the past decade or two as a running back, David, that's better at sticking his foot in the ground and getting upfield. He puts that foot and kind of pivots like a basketball player so quickly. It's incredible.
Blaine Stansberry once again, 1st and 10. He rolls to his right, has a man open. The pass goes to him. It's caught. He dropped it. Will Presley, the intended receiver, nobody around him. And Will tell you he should have caught that.
No, he will. And you know, you got to think both Will and Blaine, these are two guys that grew up, went to Norris Middle School. This game means a lot to everybody. But just because this is their second year in Oak Ridge schools doesn't mean this means any less to those guys. They've got nerves too. They passed this on their way to school, I think. I mean, this is a big game for those guys too.
Both sophomores too. Stansberry will hand it off to Dozier. Dozier cuts inside, moves the ball across to the 15. Battles his way all the way down to around the 12-yard line, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down for the Wildcats. It is indeed a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Another great run by DeJavis Dozier.
Clinton's going to call a timeout.
Let's take one ourselves. 12-7 Dragons, 10-17 to play. We're in the first half live from Clinton. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Timeout Dragons, that's their first of the first half.
That's our kid.
Again, we're at the Clinton Fan Festival tomorrow here at the City
Cody.
Field. Competition will begin at 11 a.m. Clinton band scheduled to perform at around 8:15. There will be 22 high school bands.
That was a
If you like band music or if you like music at all, it'll be a great chance for you to come out and see these bands and support your local school. Again, that's the Clinch River Band Festival beginning at 11 o'clock right here at the City of Clinton Field tomorrow.
Welcome back once again to Clinton. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge knocking on the door. They're in the red zone with 10-17 to play in the first half, trailing by a score of 12-7. This coming after a turnover. I think all the scores have come after turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bakery. We got a bakery out here. I mean, there's turnovers left and right, and I think you're right. I mean, there's no other explanation other than nerves. That and hard hitting, but most of these have come without contact. But it's time for Oak Ridge. Let's punch this in.
Ball's at around the 13-yard line. The angle is not good for us. The Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. Trailing by a score of 12-7. Stansberry with Dozier to his right. Elmonte Rimbert as a receiver to his right. Dozier's going to go left, though. Around a block by Brandon Hayward. And down to the 3-yard line he goes, or close to it. Actually, he's out. I think officially, I'm going to see where he puts it down. Didn't get the best spot. I thought he went farther than that. They're going to put him down at the 9-yard line.
The away side bleachers, that sideline, Oak Ridge's sideline, going towards the end zone where Clinton's student section is. How many highlights do we have on the highlight tapes over the years of that corner of that end zone?
So many over the years. Wildcats have it. Second down. About 6 yards to go. Dozier, 3, 2, 1. 6 points. Touchdown, Oak Ridge Wildcats. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge have scored with 10:05 to play in the first half. And Oak Ridge will send the extra point unit into the ball game with Eli Pearson to do the honors. Oak Ridge with their first lead of the ball game. It'll be Adam Washington to hold. T.J. Hibben to snap. Eli Pearson to attempt the extra point. 10 minutes, 5 seconds to play in the first half. The snap, the hold, the kick by Eli into the Clinton student section and beyond. It's good. And the Wildcats lead the Dragons 14-12. And we'll be back for the Oak Ridge kickoff in 60 seconds.
Fastest update ever in the history of ever. It seems like there's so many right in that corner. I always think of the guy that waved to the camera. Who was that?
Good job, Ted. Let's go, Ted. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Zach Dorman, Matthew Charles, Ben George. Wildcats about to kick off once again, leading for the first time, 14-12.
Mark Hayes, our statistician, he just pointed over and said Clinton has 4 yards on the ground through a quarter of play.
Here's another pop-up kick. It's going to be short. They're going to return it. It's going to be, he called for a fair catch. He tried to move it at the 25-yard line. So it'll be first down, 10 yards to go. I guess they have seen on film that the Clinton return team can do damage, and they've elected to go with the pop-up kicks.
They have, and David, kind of a quick score break here. Ronald Acuna has hit his 40th home run. He's now recorded 160 and 160 stolen bases, first at the age of 25 or younger to do that. What an incredible young athlete. I know a lot of people listening to us don't care about the Braves, but sometimes we give in Braves updates because we both like them. That's great.
That's a major league record. Nobody's even close to that. 40 home runs and almost 70 stolen bases. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. The ball is, let's see, resting at around the 26-yard line. They're moving left to right if you're listening to us on FM 92.7. Joshua Keith facing pressure, lots of pressure, looking at white shirts, dumps it off in the flats. Nice catch, nice run up the sideline. It'll be first and 10 at the 44-yard line. Joshua Keith doing it once again.
Yeah.
Wildcats got pressure on him, but he was just able to make a little shovel pass, and it's first and 10.
And Coach Gaddis, again, not happy. Kind of Spurrier-esque, throws the hat on the ground, and he's not happy at somebody. That was a great play by Keith. Escaped the pressure, and then kind of spins out of it and just shovel passes that ball to Goins, the running back, and they make a great play out of almost a sack.
Ball's at the 45-yard line. Keith running this time. Direct snap to him, and he goes down at the 50-yard line. What was he arguing about? Was he over the line again? Coach Gaddis is mad. You would think that, look how mad Coach Gaddis is right now.
You would never think that the word interim is on that. I mean, if you know Coach Gaddis, you knew that's how he's going to be. There's no way. He's got one speed and one speed only, and that pedal is to the metal anytime he's on that sideline.
I mean, that's classic Joe Gaddis right there.
And it doesn't matter if he was 35, 55, today, it doesn't matter. He's the same guy, and I love it.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Joshua Keith back to pass across the way, wide open once again. Tackle is made. Finally, at the 38-yard line, that is another Clinton first down. They found a little something there. They're just dumping it off in the flats.
Yeah, Oak Ridge doesn't want to get beat up over the top. And obviously they've got to stay around the line of scrimmage because they don't want Keith to beat him by his legs. So they're finding a soft spot in there about 8 yards down the field, in the middle of the field, and Keith's doing a great job of just taking what Oak Ridge has given him.
14-12 Oak Ridge. Keith straight drop this time. Pressure to his right, running up the field. Boom! He's blasted. He got leveled on the sideline by J.T. Gorman, and he got up.
And who else was in there? Vashon Knowles, who took a big hit. I told you he'd be back. You know, this is a guy, if you're just watching this for the first time and you've never seen Joshua Keith play, you might be going, he's not very big. He doesn't need to be taking those hits. Well, A, he's tough, but B, if he ran more, I think Oak Ridge could have gotten beat last year. His legs at times are his greatest weapon. He's using them much more tonight than he did last year.
Just a big hit by J.T. Gormley, though. Ball is at the 35-yard line. Hand off to Goins. Goins in the backfield, slung down to the turf. Down he goes. The Wildcats drop him all the way back to the 40-yard line. A host of Wildcats. Knowles, Price Davis, and another Wildcat.
And the biggest Wildcat out there right now, literally, and on that play, it was Elijah Bradley. He's a defensive end, and he read the backfield, he read the lineman, he was trying to get him pushed outside. He wouldn't let him happen. He stayed outside, stayed on that outside shoulder, extended his arm, Great technique right there, and used every bit of that 6'4" frame to pull that guy down, to pull Goins down by the jersey. Great play.
Third down, 13 yards to go. They have 3 receivers to the left of the quarterback, 2 to the right, nobody in the backfield except Joshua Keith. Feeling pressure, eludes a sack, dumps the ball, incomplete. It's 4th down and 13. That time the little shovel pass didn't have enough on it. It'll be 4th down.
And once again, he was there if he could have gotten it, but instead of kind of trying to wind up and throw, he just kind of flicked it downfield. And to be honest with you, it was so short, it was actually ended up falling to the ground closer to an Oak Ridge Wildcat. It was Bryce Dorsey who was the nearest guy to where that ball landed. And Clinton, interesting call here, not shocking, but they are going to keep their offense on the field. 4th and long from their Oak Ridge 41.
They've been able to get big chunk plays on 3rd down. The Wildcats need to stop here. It's 4th down now. Coach Keith wants to talk about it. 7:30 to play. We're in the 2nd quarter. Oak Ridge has a 14-12 lead. We'll take a break. We'll be back to Clinton on FM 92.7, on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, Channel 15, and prepradio.com in 30 seconds. Beat the Pirates in the 92 play.
Oh.
The Pirates.
I still remember that Braves called Chippers last year, infield fly rule, when he was 3/4 the way to the fence.
Welcome back once again. That was the stellar voice and the voice of Alex Myers telling me about something way in the past.
That no one cares about, like most things that come out of my mouth.
So the Dragons have it 4th down, 14 yards to go. The Wildcats have been able to move the ball on the ground. They've been able to get a few pass plays complete. It would be great field position if the Wildcats could stop them right here.
It would. It would be great field position, and you're looking at that clock, not really a factor at this point. Still 7:30, about midway to go left in this 2nd quarter before halftime. 3 wideouts left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield on this 4th down play.
From the Oak Ridge 41-yard line, they've got a slot to the right. He comes in motion. That's Goins. Joshua Keith, straight drop, pressured, breaks away, and he's going to pick up good yardage. He slides forward for the 1st down. There was nobody at home. You got to know the guy's going to run the ball. You got to know it.
I think that's part of the strategy of moving Goins right to left to confirm that Oak Ridge is playing man. And also empty backfield. There's no linebacker staying home to watch the backfield. Everybody's got their backs turned. Nice play call. I don't think it was intentional run, but I think the entire time that play's called knowing if everything else breaks down, he can run it.
Now Oak Ridge is going to call a timeout. 7:06 to play, 14-12. At halftime, we'll have the Madison Insurance Group halftime show. We'll talk about what happened in the first half, and we've had a lot of action. And we'll have Mark and Shauna's stats. I guess Mike and yourself might have a chance to talk a little bit. We're in beautiful Clinton, the half moon above the visitors section across the way. The Clinton student section is massive to our left. Joshua Keith show so far here in the first half.
Yeah, and if you're Clinton, that's exactly what it should be. And again, I think Clinton had a chance. Obviously, they had a chance to win the game at Blankenship last year, and I think they could have won it if Keith would have been a little more aggressive using his legs. Tonight, he has been more aggressive. With that 18-yard pickup, they just doubled their rushing yards on the entire game in one play.
Dragons trail by 2, 14-12, 7:06 to play. The Wildcats need a stop on defense. The defensive coordinator of the Wildcats, Coach David Hawkins, is up in the press box. He's immediately behind us. He relays the plays down to his staff, including Vonce Henderson, Bam Thomas, and Ricky Chitwood. The Dragons have driven the ball primarily on the fine play of Joshua Keith down to the 23-yard line where it's 1st down, 10 yards to go. Keith, the quarterback, looks over the defense set, looks back over to his offensive coaches on the Clinton sideline. Play clock down to 17. He's got plenty of time. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Handoff to Goins. Goins tackled at the 20-yard line. Not a whole lot there.
If I'm Clinton, at some point in this game, I'm throwing a screen pass. And I know that sounds like an obvious statement, but Oak Ridge has done such a good job in the 2nd quarter and the last drive or two compared to the first couple drives of this game of getting back to the pass rush or getting back to the quarterback. these defensive ends have their ears peeled back. Clinton could use that against them if they were to try a screen, a draw, something here at some point.
Gain of 3 on the previous play. Second down, 7 yards to go. Keith rolls to his right, runs to run, cuts it up the field, and is pummeled at around the 14-yard line.
Met first by J.T. Gormley, but several Wildcats, a few of them back there, and that's one thing that Oak Ridge has done well all year with Coach Hawkins and under his instruction and Coach Rings, but also specifically tonight, they're gang tackling. You don't hardly ever see one jersey at the football.
Third down, 3 yards to go for the Clinton Dragons, moving left to right. Down to 6:06 to play in the first half. The Wildcats on top, 14-12. Last time we were here, I believe we trailed at halftime and came back to win the ball game. The Wildcats in the lead. Plenty of time to go. Clinton taking a while to get a play in, and personnel as well. They've got it 3rd and short. About 2 yards to go. Keith, straight drop. Fires a pass, caught, and he's tackled at the 11-yard line.
It's just a good design, good play design. That play is never going to get you 20 or 30 yards, but you didn't need it. You simply needed about 2, and I guess he was going to say, I thought he got it. They do indeed give him the first down. So Clinton here, important to note, the ball's at the 15. If you're watching on our stream, it's hard to see with this angle. They can get a first down without scoring. The ball's officially at the 12.
They're moving left to right with 5:25 to play, trying to retake the lead over the Wildcats. Joshua Keith, handoff to the back, tracked down by Vashon, tackled at the 11-yard line.
Boy, Vashon, Bryce Davis, Brandon Hayward. Oak Ridge has got a group of seniors tonight that is playing like they know it's their last chance to beat Clinton, and they don't want to let this opportunity pass. These guys are playing so hard.
They could play him in the playoffs, honestly, but we've never done that. We've never played Clinton in the playoffs. It'll be second down, 9 yards to go. We're down to 4:54 to play in the second quarter. I see that smile. Don't say it. The ball is at the 11-yard line. They're moving left to right. Running back, Goins. Quarterback, Joshua Keith. Keith hands it to Goins. Boom. I mean, he just blasted him.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like kind of one of the old Reggie White highlights where you just kind of shove one man aside and just hug the guy to the ground. I mean, it's just a great job. Those defensive tackles don't get the recognition that the defensive ends do in football because they don't get the number of sacks, the number of fancy plays, but they have to eat up blockers. It's not always the most fun thing to do, but when you've got a good defensive tackle in there like three, boy, it makes a world of difference.
4:05 to play and counting. Third down, 10 yards to go. Loss on that previous play. Now you got to watch Keith. You got to watch Keith here. Third down, 10, snap, and we're going to have what's called a timeout called by Darrell Keith, the head coach of the Dragons. Oak Ridge on top, 14-12. We'll be back to Clinton in 30 seconds. And we appreciate all of you listening on FM 92.7 or watching on our YouTube channel or on Prep Radio or Channel 15. Third down, 10 yards to go for Clinton. The ball is at the 12-yard line, 3:54 to play. First half, Oak Ridge on top of the Dragons, 14-12. You know, I was talking to Alex during the break here. You got to be aware where Joshua Keith is. Somebody has got to be watching that guy.
Yeah, you've got to have maybe a Garmley. They do have the running back Goins in this time, so there's going to be a linebacker that stays in unless they flare him out.
Third down, 10 yards to go. He's back to pass. Fires it in the end zone. In and out of his hands. Incomplete.
It was a great job. Coach Dawkins, they switched it up. They run man on so many of these plays, and it's let Keith get her out of there. That time, Oak Ridge's defense was in a zone defense, and so instead of their heads being their backs facing Keith, chasing a receiver down the field, they had their bodies turned. Their heads were facing Keith. There was nowhere to run, and he had to throw that one. Nice play.
Izzy Mitchell, I think, defending there for the Wildcats. 3:50 to play. It's 4th down facing Clinton. They'll go for it. 4th down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 12-yard line. The Oak Ridge defense wants to stop right here. 3:50 to play. Joshua Keith, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. Clinton fans making noise. Keith rolls. He's got room. Fires across the way. Pass it. Batted down. Go sit on your sideline, Dragons. The Wildcat offense is onto the field. 1st and 10. Great play by the Wildcat freshman, Valen Henderson.
We talked about the seniors. Now let's flip the script and talk about the youngsters. The freshman, Valen Henderson, with a beautiful pass breakup in the end zone. Oak Ridge takes over. That's a big stand, and what a difference a kicking game can make in a game like this.
And what a proud father, Vontae Henderson, his dad. He is fired up. Now the Wildcats have 3 minutes and 46 seconds to come down the field, maybe score some points. 14-12 the score. Wildcat quarterback hands it off. Dozier busts through the line to the 15-yard line, up to the 16. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the first half. 14-12 Wildcats.
And Oak Ridge hasn't really attempted, I think they've only attempted one deep shot, and it was to Presley where there was maybe a little controversy. It was no call. But that's it. And usually I would think in this situation, you might see another one since they haven't attempted one in a while. But with the clock situation, I think until they start, maybe get a first down or two, I think Oak Ridge is content to just try to milk a little clock right here deep in their own territory.
Rusty Parton signals in the play to Blaine Stansberry. 2nd down and about 6 yards to go. 3:07 to play. First half, low snap. Blaine will throw deep. He goes, man, he's there. He's got it. What a catch. What a throw. 1st and 10. A 10 back of Oak Ridge. First down. The ball is inside the Clinton yard line. Almani Rimbert. What a throw by Blaine Stansberry. Caught him on a dead run over the shoulder. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Thank goodness they didn't listen to me. That was a bullet. He threw it on a rope. Almani Rimbert did not have to break stride. What a play.
Sideline warning for the Dragons across the way. We've seen enough of those.
Let's make sure everyone's clear on that one.
2 minutes, 58 seconds to play. The Wildcats in the Dragon 39-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Oak Ridge, 2 receivers to the left. Once again, Stansberry rolls to pass. Looks, might run. Cuts it across, 35, 30. Blaine Stansberry to the Clinton 25, and then a late hit, and that's a personal foul. Tack on some more yards. Blaine Stansberry, great run, picks up the first down, and the Dragons hit him late. More yards on it. It'll be first down for the Wildcats.
Ooh, I love that. The sophomore quarterback, he doesn't run often, but he can do it every now and then, and we've seen him slide all year. But in this rivalry game, with the blood pumping, he lowered his shoulder, and he got taken for a ride, but he rewards his team, and his teammates are going to feed off of that, and the crowd certainly did as well. Now with 2:45 to go, now Oak Ridge is going to look to bleed a little clock right here, you would think.
The Wildcats have the ball at the Dragon 13-yard line, heading towards those end zone seats to our left. Stansberry has the snap, has the reverse to Dozier. Dozier runs into a wall at the 10. I think if he cuts outside, that's another 6 points. It'll be for the Wildcats, 2nd down and 7 yards to go.
Yeah, really just got to tip your clap to Lavelle Pendergrass, the defensive lineman for Clinton. I'm not sure we've called his name yet, but it was a great play by him. It's hard. I mean, almost never does the first man attempting to tackle DeJavis Dozier get him. That time, Pendergrass did it.
Officially, they're going to put him down at the 11-yard line. Presley, Hayward to the right. Blaine's going to run it. He's got a touchdown if he gets to the end zone. Not quite. He is dragged down by a horse collar. It'll be 1st and goal, Oak Ridge.
1st and goal. The flag comes in. And more importantly, obviously you want to score there, David. But with Joshua Keith on the other sideline, I don't know that that's not end up being better for Oak Ridge because you can bleed a little more time off the clock. Clinton's cheering. This is going to be against Oak Ridge.
Wow. Wow.
Holding. Wow.
Okay.
You don't ever hardly see a holding call called as the ball carrier's going to the ground. You usually see it early, but, well.
Coach Gaddis is all over that official on the sideline, throws his hat down again. Time ticking. 2:04 to play. It'll be for the Wildcats. Looks like 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
They're going to switch defensive backs. They want to put the bigger, taller defender on Will Presley. Rembert's got a one-on-one matchup with wide side of the field.
Wildcats get the playoff. Here's the throw, incomplete. There was some contact, not a lot. Oak Ridge wanted a flag. It'll be third down facing the Wildcats. A minute 48 to play. The Wildcats have the ball at the 13-yard line. I could have sworn it was either a face mask or a horse collar a moment ago. I apologize for getting so excited.
Well, hey, that's part of it. And they did try to go to Rembert that time. Same formation, same wide side of the field. They do flip the running back, though, Dozier to the wide side.
Blaine Stansberry hands it to Dozier. Dozier 10, lowers his shoulder, scoots out of bounds. It'll be fourth down, goal to go. Inside the 10-yard line with a minute 41 to play in the first half. 14-12, Oak Ridge in the lead.
Yeah, you hate to see him go out of bounds, though, because Clinton doesn't have any timeout. So if Oak Ridge doesn't convert this, and Oak Ridge is going to call a timeout to think about it, if Oak Ridge doesn't convert this, now Clinton's got a minute and a half to work. If he stays in bounds right there, now you can take a little more time off the clock.
Decision by Coach Gaddis once again. Coach Gaddis, the interim head coach of the Wildcats today. This is the 21st time he has directed a team against the Clinton Dragons. He is 18-2 against Clinton.
And he doesn't want to put a 3 next to that record. I can tell you he was fired up and focused before this game. And like I said, I've been around Coach Gaddis for almost a decade now, right at a decade, I guess. And there's no less fire in those eyes before this game than any other game I've ever seen.
Eli Pearson's going to come into the game. He's going to attempt a field goal. So the Wildcats marched the ball down the field after Clinton went for it on fourth down, did not get it, a great defensive play. And now the sophomore is going to try to nail a 25-yard field goal from the left hash. Eli Pearson, Washington to the hold, Hibben to snap. A minute 41 to play first half. The Wildcats going for the field goal of 25 yards. Kick is on its way. It's good. Eli Pearson splits the uprights, and Oak Ridge leads the Dragons 17-12. They march the ball down the field. Not going to take a break here. The play, that's 3 points. They wanted more, but that play, the throw by Blaine Stansberry to Almani Rembert, a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just one you're going to replay and replay and replay. Again, great pass protection. The throw was about as perfect as you can get. The catch was great. Rembert didn't have to break stride. I mean, it was just beautiful start to finish. Unfortunately, Oak Ridge can't quite punch it in for a touchdown, but they go up by 5, and you never know how valuable each point is, especially going against a dangerous offensive Clinton, but a Clinton team that really doesn't trust their kicker. So it's always kind of interesting to watch these chess matches, and with Coach Rang obviously not here, Coach Gaddis making that managerial type decision to go for 3, it pays off, and we'll kind of keep an eye on that as the game goes on.
You know, I've done a lot of these Clinton ball games. I mean, even before Coach Gaddis was here, it never gets, boring to me. I mean, it is so fun. I am having a ball.
Well, the listeners, a bunch of them know Shrimp, the legend in Oak Ridge, and he was out there chirping before the game, and it just means so much, not just to those guys, but to everyone.
Here comes Eli Pearson's kick. It's another pop-up kick. He doesn't signal for a fair catch this time. He's going to come off to the left side. Wildcats might have been a block in the back. No flag. There's a flag. Lots of bodies all over the place. The referee has not called anything. It is going to call a block in the back against the Clinton Dragons.
The old Bronx cheer after Clinton gets called for that one, and it was a little late, but hey, what matters is they got the call right, and 2 officials saw that one, so that one was undeniable, and it's going to back Clinton up. 91 seconds to go, a minute 31 on the clock, and with no timeouts, it's interesting what Coach Keith on the other sideline is going to be thinking, because Oak Ridge has got one timeout left. So you can't stop the clock every time, but does Coach Keith trust his son, trust that quarterback to make the right play back deep in your own territory, or do you play it safe?
His son's a stud. I trust him, and I know he trusts him. But, you know, with a minute 31 to go, you don't want to turn it over. The Wildcats could get more points.
No, and the one thing, there is a tendency to throw some balls up at times, but I think you're right. I think he'll trust him. No backs in the backfield. Again, see if Oak Ridge plays zone or man here.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 16. Joshua across the way. Pass is caught. And then the Wildcats make the stop with Bryce Dorsey at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, so it doesn't get a first down, so the clock's going to Oak Ridge just got a player down. So unfortunately, the clock will stop as looks like Davis is shaken up again, and he'll come off of the sideline. But the clock will stop because of that. He didn't get a first down, though.
Should start again here. Minute 18 to play, 8-yard gain for them. Wildcats getting T.J. Hibben back in the ball game. Wildcats had to replace him because of the injury. The clock needs to move. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go. Joshua back to pass. Pass is high. It's going to be caught on the Clinton sideline up and around the 34-yard line. That is a first down.
First down, clock stops, and it will stay stopped because he's out of bounds. And so Bryce Davis comes back in, Hibben goes in, and interesting on that play, Hibben having to substitute last second. Oak Ridge was short a defensive back that play, but as Clinton has been going 4 or 5 wide, as they'll do again here, now you've got 5 DBs in the game for Oak Ridge.
Minute 10 to play, first half, 17-12 Wildcats. Quarterback Joshua Keith, back to pass, goes deep. Pass is well overthrown. It is almost a great interception. I think Izzy was out of bounds, but it was so out of bounds, nobody was going to catch it except the chain gang guys over there. It's incomplete. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and if you're going to miss on that throw, you got to do just what Josh Keith did. You got to miss long, and that's what he did. And now, the one thing I'll say, this is easy for me to say because it's not going to come back to hurt me if I was wrong. If I'm Coach Hawkins, this is too talented of a quarterback to let him play 7-on-7 football with no rush. To me, you got to bring more than 3 defensive linemen. You got to put some pressure on him, make him make a quick decision.
Minute 4, Keith almost fumbles the snap. Here comes Bradley. Bradley, oh, he's going to sack him. Back at the 20. Let's see if Oak Ridge calls a timeout right here. I would too. 53 seconds to play. It's a huge loss on the play. He fumbled initially, rolled to his right, and big Elijah Bradley worked through that double team and got to him.
Yeah, 11-yard loss on the play. Oak Ridge elects not to call a timeout. Coach Gaddis continuing to peek over at the clock. Clinton will have to run a play, so Oak Ridge could call a timeout. I think Clinton's probably just going to run this one to force Oak Ridge to use that. Here we go.
3rd down, 22 yards to go for Joshua Keith. 25 seconds to play. The snap, the pressure, the throw, up for grabs, intercepted. Oh! Bryce Davis had it in his hands. That ball was easy pickings for the Wildcats. Keith just put it up, hoping his guy would be under it, but there was 3 white shirts. Izzy, Price, and Dallas all down there, and it's 4th down.
Well, I found it. I don't know that Bryce Davis could have played a more perfect game, a perfect half of football, and I found the one flaw. He just barely dropped that one. He has played incredible. Great read on that one. Looked like he jumped just a little bit early. Almost that timing was off. But, hey, Oak Ridge forces a punt.
Special teams have been kind of iffy for the Clinton Dragons this year. They're trying to get their personnel on. 16 seconds to play, the Wildcats, and there's a flag, and that is delay a game. They couldn't get their personnel on. Their special teams have struggled at times this year. That's a 5-yard step off. He's going to be punting from his own end zone.
He will be. Now, if you're Oak Ridge, you can set up a return. You can try to rush him. I think I'd try to rush him. But here's the important thing, too. With that incompletion, Oak Ridge still has a timeout. So if they can get a good return here, they can try to get in field goal position.
17-12 Wildcats.
Guy on the field.
4th down, 27 yards to go. They'll be punting just inside the 5-yard line. Wildcats have Brandon Hayward, I believe, back here at the 40. Down to 3, down to 2. They get the snap off. If they punt off, it's a good one. It's short. Got to get away from it. It's going to be bounding and rolled dead at the 40. And that Clinton guy, oh, stop the clock. Who's running the clock? Knoxville officials? McMinn County officials? They let so much time go off the clock.
It was touched around 7 seconds. It was touched around 7 seconds, David. There's 1.9 on the clock. There's no way. They've got to put more. They are discussing it. But, Mark Case, you're right. There was no whistle blown until 1.6 seconds left. So as mad as we want to be at the clock operator, they can't stop the clock till there's a whistle.
Coach Gaddis is finding out from the official. They have 1.9, enough for a long heave.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what's worse, McMinn County officiating or this officiating. Blaine just going to throw it. Safeties and cornerbacks are back. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 42-yard line. Stansberry, low snap, has time, goes across the way. Brandon is picked off. They might score a touchdown. Wildcats need to stop him. Down the sideline, no time. Touchdown Clinton, touchdown Clinton, touchdown Clinton. No flags down. They score, and it's pandemonium across the way. What a play. 2 turnovers, return for touchdowns, and the Dragons will go to halftime with the lead. What a play. The Wildcats just didn't have the speed to cut him off. Brilliant play by the Dragons, and they score, and they lead Oak Ridge by a score of 18-17.
And Coach Keith is already headed to the locker room. I'm not sure what that's about, but I don't know. Great play by Damon Marble. I think he's a Purdue commitment.
He is.
And he's a great athlete. And unfortunately, all of Oak Ridge's fast players, the athletes on the field, if you will, they were down trying to catch the pass. So the only guys left to try to make the tackle were the quarterback and the lineman, which didn't have an angle. And now Clinton's going to go for 2, up by 1.
No time on the clock here. Clinton trails Oak Ridge just until now. Now they lead 18-17. What a momentum shifter at halftime. What a big play.
Yeah.
And you can see why he's going to once he got in the open space, nobody could catch him.
You called it as soon as he picked it.
Fumble, and the Wildcats recover it. So the 2-point conversion play is no good. We have played one half of very exciting football. Some big plays by Clinton has kept them in the ball game. They lead Oak Ridge 18-17. What a momentum shifting play there at the end of the first half.
And I don't want to be that guy, but I will. And that all goes back. If Oak Ridge has 7.9 seconds to go, if they have 7 or 8 seconds, they're not throwing a Hail Mary 40 yards downfield. They're throwing an out route, something just trying to get into field goal range. But instead, with 1 second left, that's all they could do. Now, Oak Ridge still had to throw the interception, and Clinton still had to make the play, and they did. So credit to them. But it certainly, unmistakably, undeniably changed what Oak Ridge had to do at the end of that half. And like you said, I'll just make a statement right here. I've never in my life heard a Clinton crowd that loud, ever.
Yeah,
I've never heard one.
It was very, very loud. Great play for them.
Yep.
They lead the Wildcats 18-17 is our score. We're at halftime. Coming up next, the Madison Insurance Group halftime report. We'll have the scoring summary. Mike will do that. Mark and Shauna Hates will have the first half stats. The Clinton band will be performing. The Wildcat band is here. Oak Ridge trails 18-17. We'll be back to Clinton following this 3-minute timeout.
They said 86. I hit it at 85, but at least 85 yards.
Hey, Baker.
Please welcome to the field the 2023 high school marching band. Directors are Matt Bimstein and
Avery.
Ezekiel Schloss, with assistants from Stephen Gray, telephone instructor Chantel Fleming. The band is under the field direction of Will
How are you doing?
and Leon Hernandez.
Where's your cheerleader stuff? Do you have your cheerleader stuff, your pom-poms and everything? Do you? What's that?
Is the camera where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, let's get the band out here at halftime. Whew. What's that?
I was going to get a drink, but I'm not going with that.
Any idea who that pass was to?
Brandon. Mike usually has. Hey, Mike, do you have any drinks in your cooler? Drinks. Yeah. Okay. Alex.
Back to Clinton High School, home of the Dragons, where the Dragons currently are on top. 18-17 the score. Oak Ridge had the lead until the clocks hit 0. That's when the Purdue commit, Damon Marable for Clinton, intercepted a Blaine Stansberry throw towards the end zone, ran it all the way back for 6. Clinton has not made an extra point all night. They've not converted a 2-point conversion. So 6 times 3 is 18. That's their score. Mike Sheehan joins me now, who's got the scoring recap. But before you start, Mike, a lot of Oak Ridge Clinton games. The rivalries never drops the intensity, and that's no different here tonight.
Definitely not, Alex. This has been a really exciting football game, as I figured it might be, but it's been a game of mistakes for the Wildcats.
And just before you do your scoring recap, I want to introduce our Andy's Pizza question of the game. We're all about local businesses at Prep Radio and Oak Ridge Sports, and our newest sponsor is Andy's Pizza, located in the Ridgeway Center at 156 Bus Terminal Road. They are locally owned, and everything is made there in the store. Each and every Oak Ridge ball game, we're giving away one of their pizzas. Maybe it's the first caller, or by answering a trivia question. If you're at the game or coming to the game, we have it for you up in the press box. Tonight, we're not in the press box. We have a coupon for you so that you can pick out whatever kind of pizza you want. A free pizza from Andy's Pizza and more in Oak Ridge awaits the first person that texts the correct answer to 865-310-7207. Tonight's question is, who was the Oak Ridge head coach the last time the Wildcats lost to Clinton? Who coached the Oak Ridge Wildcats the last time the Wildcats lost to Clinton? Once you have that answer, be the first to text 865-310-7207. Come and claim your pizza. Mike, you've got the scoring recap.
Thank you, Alex. First off, the game got started off very strange because Oak Ridge fumbled on the third play of the game, and Chauncey Phelps for the Clinton Dragons picked it up and ran it in from 40 yards out for a fumble recovery, pick 6. Emmanuel Ortiz come in to kick the ball, and it hit the upright, no good. So the Dragons started off leading 6-0. But with 5:57 left in the first quarter, Oak Ridge drove the ball down to the 1-yard line, where Oak Ridge's DeJarvis Dozier drove it in from 1 yard out, and the Wildcats tied the game up 6-6. Then Eli Pearson, Mr. Dependable, came in and kicked it between the uprights, and the Wildcats led with 5 minutes and 57 seconds in the first quarter, 7-6. But didn't last too long. Keith Wesley threw a 25-yard touchdown pass to Wesley Phillips for the go-ahead score, and the Dragons went up 12-7. Again, they ran for the 2-point conversion. Oak Ridge snuffed it, so the score remained Clinton 12, Oak Ridge 7, with 1 minute and 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, with 10 minutes and 5 seconds still left in the first quarter, DeJarvis Dozier ran another touchdown in from 9 yards out and put the Wildcats back in the lead, 13-12, where Eli Pearson again came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led by 2, 14-12. Then with 1 minute and 39 seconds left in the first half, Oak Ridge drove the ball down to the 15-yard line, where Eli Pearson kicked the ball in between the uprights for a field goal. The Wildcats led 17-12. We thought that we had this game under hand after a beautiful pass from Blaine Stansberry to Armani Rembert for like a 78-yard pass, I believe it was. I'll let Mark tell you in a moment. But it gave the Wildcats great field position, got down there, and then the Wildcats got the ball back again. And from 85 yards out, DeMonte Marble intercepted a Blaine Stansberry long pass down the field with 1.6 seconds left in the first half. He ran it back for 85-yard touchdown and an 18-7 lead for the Clinton Dragons. And the two-point conversion run failed again. So at the half, the Wildcats trailing 17-18.
Thank you so much, Mike the Wildman Sheehan, a staple here at Prep Radio. We appreciate you each and every week and each and every year as you've helped us and just really been a friend of the Oak Ridge football family for decades and decades. No one loves Oak Ridge football any more than Mike Sheehan. Our winner of Andy's Pizza is Tyrus Henderson, and not to rub it in here, but Tyrus would know he was on that team. It was 2009. The coach was Scott Blade. Scott Blade, the last coach to lose a game to Clinton on the sidelines for the Wildcats. Tyrus, congratulations. You or someone on your behalf come up and claim your Andy's Pizza coupon. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. When we come back, Mark Haste and Shauna Haste will have your first half stats.
here at Clinton High School, where at the half, Oak Ridge trails by 1, 18-17. Looking at the first half statistics, first for Oak Ridge, they're led on the ground by DeJavis the Bull Dozier. He has 87 yards on 20 carries. Blaine Stansberry, 3 carries for 27 yards. Brandon Hayward has a 12-yard rush, and then Almani Rembert has a carry for -8 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats have 118 yards on the ground on 25 carries. Through the air, Wildcats quarterback Blaine Stansberry, he's 4 of 9 for 89 yards. His long is 46 yards. He does have 1 interception so far tonight. Receiving for the Wildcats are led by Almani Rembert, 2 receptions for 57 yards. Jovis Dozier has a 24-yard reception, and Brandon Hayward has an 8-yard reception. So as a team, the Wildcats have 118 yards on the ground, 89 yards through the air, for a total offense tonight in the first half of 207 yards. Wildcats have been penalized 5 times for 40 yards. They have 9 first downs in the first half. Now looking at the Dragons of Clinton, they're led on the ground by their quarterback, Joshua Keith, 7 carries for 23 yards. Let's see, Chauncey Feltz, he has 2 carries, netting 0 yards. Juwan Goins has 5 carries, also netting 0 yards. So on the ground, Oak Ridge has held Clinton to only 23 yards rushing in the first half. Through the air, the Dragons much more successful. Joshua Keith, their quarterback, 9 of 19 for 116 yards. He has 1 interception on the night, and that by Brandon Hayward. Receiving, they're led in by Damian Leavell, 3 receptions for 38 yards. Damon Marable has a 26-yard reception. Wesley Phillips has a 24-yard reception. Juwan Goins has 3 receptions for 17 yards, and Bryson Maddox has an 11-yard reception for the Dragons. As a team, as I said, they have 23 yards on the ground. They have 116 through the air for a total offense tonight of 139 yards. They have been penalized 5 times as well. They have 31 penalty yards. First downs, 8. So looking at the team side by side, rushing, Oak Ridge 118, Clinton 23. Through the air, Oak Ridge has 89 yards, Clinton 116. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 207 total offensive yards in the first half, Clinton 139. Penalties, Oak Ridge penalized 5 times for 40 yards, Clinton 5 times for 31 yards. First downs, Oak Ridge has 9, Clinton has 8. So again, this is Marquez. We're at the half. Oak Ridge trails by 1 point, 18-17 to the Clinton Dragons, and we'll be back after this 4-minute timeout.
I'm not used to sitting outside.
I didn't see the whole play.
It just looks different to me.
Did someone miss a route, or was that all playing?
Could be. You know, most of these schools have gone to these LED lights,
Yeah.
and they're different, but they're also probably the turf because it's a little more shiny and reflects differently.
Yeah.
It's probably the LED lights, though.
Lagavatti always hurt. You know,
Who?
on the crutches coming, Lagavatti, I don't know. Yeah, he's built like, I mean, he's a big dude. He's strong as hell.
Their offense has scored exactly 6 points. We're fine. Just
At least their kicking game's good.
yeah.
All right, here we go.
You know, if anyone's not
What's that?
he says that Oak Ridge needs the 3 minutes and the band refused to yield. 3 more. Let's add it.
The Oak Ridge Wild Band concluding their performance here at Clinton, Tennessee. We're at halftime. The Wildcats trail the Clinton Dragons 18-17. An interception return of about 85 yards. With no time on the clock, the big difference in the ball game. While I have a moment, Alex, before you comment on that, as the Wild Band concludes there, I'd like to send a shout out to the class of Oak Ridge High School 1961. Celebrating a reunion today. I guess they're at the Wildcat Den. I know a lot of people in that class of 61, so congratulations once again. Alex, Wildcats, you said a little bit of a stat. The Clinton offense, which is good, an excellent offense, has not been the key in the ballgame. It's been their defense.
No, it has. I mean, you look up the scores 18-17. If you told Oak Ridge going in the game you're on pace to put up 34 points, I think you'd have taken it. You absolutely would have taken it. But then you look on the opposite side of that, their defense is, you know, there's 18 points for Clinton on the scoreboard, but their defense has only surrendered 6 of those points. And even on the touchdowns that the offense has given up off turnovers, they have not given up the 2-point conversion attempts. So the defense is playing very well, especially when you consider, I mean, you're not going to shut a Joshua Keith as a senior, you're not going to shut this team out. And they haven't. They've given up 6 points. But your defense is doing their part. Your offense is moving the ball, and they're scoring as well. You just have to eliminate the turnovers, and I think Oak Ridge is just fine. They did add 3 minutes to the clock, just to note. Couple scores of interest as we go through the Knoxville area. Powell over Halls 20-10 at half. Maryville up on Hardin Valley 28-7. Webb up on CAK's big rivalry game 28-12. Anderson County all over Carter late in the first half, 42-0. You know, that's an interesting game to think about, is the Anderson County game, because back-to-back weeks, this is a brutal schedule for Clinton. I'll say a brutal stretch of the schedule, as they played Powell, a very good team, maybe not what they've been, but still very good, and Clinton lost to them last Thursday. So we haven't mentioned this, but they have an extra day to prepare for this game. There was a Thursday night game last week. Oak Ridge coming off a physical game. So then they're playing their rivalry, Clinton is tonight, against Oak Ridge, a very physical, very tough, very emotional game. And then, for the first time in several years, next week, Anderson County will meet Clinton. And those two teams, as bad as this rivalry is, I think we would all agree, we like teasing Clinton a little bit, as I'm sure they do us, but there's some respect there. That Anderson County-Clinton rivalry got nasty. and they stopped playing it for several years, and this will be the first time these two teams have played each other in several years next week. So Clinton in the middle of a rough stretch.
And we'll play Central next week at Central High School, the site of one of the greatest, if not the greatest, high school ball game ever in the state of Tennessee. We're very biased, though. Alex, what do you think Coach Rang is doing right now, and what's he thinking right now?
Probably pacing, probably doing what I'm doing, which is kind of just twiddling my thumbs, just kind of nerves getting to him. And there's nothing I would imagine. I've never been a head coach of a high school football team, but I would imagine there's nothing harder than going from someone who has control to everything you've built up for months and months of the off season, and everybody tells you your first year on the job, you got to be Clinton. Whatever you do, you got to be Clinton. And then the week of, you just have to kind of step back, and you can't control anything. You can't make a difference one way or the other. And Coach Rang is a guy who can make a difference on the sideline. His presence, his ability to call plays, his thoughtfulness, his idea, his football mind. And so I got to imagine it's tough, just kind of sitting there, and even tougher, Dave, he's probably having to listen to us.
Yes, most definitely. We're moments away from the start of the second half. The Wildcats are coached by Derek Rang, assisted by David Hawkins, Rusty Parton, Ted Mitchell, James Branson, Kevin Day, Zach Kasner, Vonce Henderson, Eric Thomas, Latarian Bam Thomas, Ricky Chitwood, Mike Kelly, and tonight the interim coach is the winningest coach of all time at Oak Ridge High School football history, Coach Joe Gaddis, the winner of our last state championship. 18-2 all time against the Dragons, but he's got a little work to do. It's a close one. 18-17, the Wildcats will be kicking off to start the second half.
They will. And, Coach Gaddis he's a very smart man, calculated, certainly. But he, like Coach Rang, isn't afraid to maybe gamble a little bit. Do you think it would ever cross his mind to come out and try to steal the momentum and potentially his last game ever coaching, Dave, trying an onside?
They've had 5 onside kicks Clinton has go against them, and here is the kick. It's another pop-up kick. It's going to be returnable. And he fumbles it! The ball is picked up by the Dragons on a convenient hop at the 40-yard line. I'm really not sure why we're not just drilling the ball and letting – I know he's talented. We've already seen that. But, man, we're just giving him the ball at the 40-yard line.
Well, to me, I'm fine with the strategy. But if I'm Oak Ridge, I'm saying, guys, get your head around, because you can almost catch the ball. I mean, it's an onside kick, and Brandon Pearson's doing such a good job of getting so much air on it that
Eli Pearson, excuse me. His grandmother's listening.
I apologize. He is doing such a good job of getting so much hang time on the ball that Oak Ridge is down there. They could almost just jump, kind of do a jump ball for it, and it almost be a pseudo onside kick.
Ball's at the 39-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for Clinton. Their own 39. They're moving left to right. Keith the pass. Wildcats watch him pass. The pass is going to be intercepted. Oak Ridge. The Wildcats pick it off. Dallas Sprint on a deflection picks it off. The Wildcats will take over, and they steal a possession from the Clinton Dragons, and the Wildcat offense will come onto the field. First down, 10 yards to go.
And that's what this rivalry is about. I see Dallas Frank come up. His face is as red as the cardinal on his helmet as he has fired up, goes straight to the student section. Who meets him on his way out? None other but former Wildcat Ricky Chitwood. This rivalry runs so deep. It means so much, and I love it. Dallas Front, take that for momentum.
Wildcats now have it 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line. In motion will come Washington. Oh, pass incomplete, and man, that was scary, scary stuff right there. That could have been picked off. The Dragon is down on the play. He'll get up okay.
Yeah, Jeremiah Lee, very talented player. He's the guy that Oak Ridge has been kicking to. He gets up, shakes it off, and typically when they stop the play, you've got to go off the field for a play, and they are telling him he does have to go off. Thankfully, it looks like he's going to be all right, though. But Oak Ridge decides to throw right there. Wouldn't be surprised if they don't get 22 involved right here from the run game.
Wildcats moving right to left, wearing their gray pants, their white jerseys, cardinal numerals. The Dragons wearing their predominantly black pants, black jerseys, orange and white.
But they do have a backup defensive back in here on the dangerous Almani Rimbert if Oak Ridge wanted to time. Man-to-man coverage, no help over the top.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Dozier gets the call, though. It's Dozier, not a whole lot of yardage there. He's across the 45 up to the 47-yard line. So didn't get anything on first down. The Wildcats are going to have it 3rd and long.
Yeah, they are. And I got a question for you, David. When's the last time? I mean, Jared Bafford at left tackle, when's the last time we've seen an Oak Ridge lineman that dominant and aggressive? He just plays with such anger and intensity.
And he's only a sophomore, too. Third down, 7 yards to go. Stansbury at the 46, low snap, has time, fires it. Almani under it, makes the catch. Touchdown! 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 Another great play by the Wildcat quarterback, Blaine Stansbury. Over the shoulder catch. Almani, what a play. And the Wildcats retake the lead.
Great protection, great throw. That time it wasn't as much on a rope. He had to throw some air onto that to let Almani run up under it, and that's exactly what number 3 did. Almani, remember, we talked, they switched the defensive back to cover Almani. I didn't know if he could, and he just answered my question. No, he could not.
Eli Pearson to attempt the extra point, 23-18, lots of pressure. The kick is up, it's good. So the Wildcats get another interception, turn it into points. That's the way this whole game has gone. Both teams turn it over, the other team scores. The Wildcats up by 6 now, 24-18, 10:56 to play third quarter. We'll be back to Clinton for the Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds.
Kind of have a feeling who sends this league first is going to win.
What?
Kind of have a feeling.
But you know, the good thing about it, their kicking game is terrible. So even if they score, they're not guaranteed that they score it.
I know, but like you kind of get the feeling if we score one more time,
Their offense is not doing it. It's their defense is scoring. Were you able to get a good shot of that? Were you able to get good? Why don't they kick it over here? There's nothing over there. Here's the kick by the Dragons. And here, ooh, mama, what a tackle there by the Wildcats. Bashan Knowles drills him down at the 30-yard line. Big play there by the Wildcats. Another pop-up kick. Man, I wish they would reverse and kick it back to the left side next time. They are slanting everybody over towards the Clinton sideline. There is wide open nothing on the left side.
No, there's not, but, you know, hey, if it's not broke, I agree with you in one sense, but he hadn't really done anything with it. You saw him fumble the ball. Empty backfield again. I wonder if Clinton's just going to let this formation ride pretty much the rest of this half and the rest of this ball game, and let Josh Keith, hey, win or lose on his shoulders. And I don't think that's the worst strategy.
We need to get the secondary and the linemen in for the Wildcats here. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 31-yard line. Joshua Keith running. In trouble. He rolls to his right. Here comes pressure. Here comes the pass. He makes the catch. Brandon Hayward defending, short of a first down, gain of 8 though. Keith once again does what Joshua Keith does, and that's keep his drive alive. He could have been easily sacked there by Elijah Bradley. He's just so elusive.
So good, and he's, I talked about, he's got a couple turnovers tonight, but he's a very smart player. You know, he doesn't panic. He's just so calm, cool, and collected, and the receiver comes back. It's hard as a defensive back. It's hard to play defensive back, period, for 2 seconds, 3 seconds. When you got a guy scrambling like that, it's really hard.
Second down, 3 yards to go. He will be going and playing football for the University of Martin as the Wildcats. Bradley chases and throws it up this way into the stands, and the catch is made. The Wildcat fan makes the catch on the third row. It'll be a third down and 3.
I was looking to see if we knew who it was.
I didn't know him. I didn't know him.
Starting defensive line has really had a nice game. Elijah Bradley. It looks like Malcody's in there as well right now. Tim Walters was in there earlier.
Malik Howard.
Really the linebackers. Gorman. I mean, really, this Oak Ridge defense has been phenomenal all game. There's not a single player that's not played well.
Big play in the ball game. Third down, 3.5 yards to go. Joshua rolls. Joshua runs. Joshua throws. It's complete at the 45-yard line, and that's a first down.
Nice catch by Jeremiah Lee. Had to concentrate. I think it was Price Davis. Came through and kind of swiped at the ball as just after he'd caught the ball. It looked like he bobbled it for a moment and held on to it. Nice throw and catch right there. But again, to me,
he's easily got that first down if he just runs it.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 46-yard line. 24-18, Oak Ridge in the lead. 10 minutes, 15 seconds to play in the third quarter, and what has been a fun game to watch. A lot of offense, a lot of turnovers. Joshua Keith has the snap, falls down. Tough break. The snap was high. He's not a big guy, but he's athletic. He just caught it, kind of did a twist.
Whirling dervish.
Yeah, I was trying to think of some kind of a skating term or something, and he goes down at the 40. It's a tough loss for him. It's a loss of about 6 or 7.
Let's see how vast my knowledge is on skating. Would that be a pirouette? It's a big word. It sounds good, if nothing else, even if it's not right. It was off a second ago, I think.
Thank you, Daryl, for letting us know. It'll be a loss on the play of 6 or 7 yards. It'll be second down, 16 yards to go. 9:28 to play third quarter. 24-18. Oak Ridge in the lead. Joshua Keith at quarterback. Back to pass again. Fires it across the way. Boom! Big stick at the 39-yard line. The Wildcat is hurt, but a huge hit right at the line of scrimmage, and we've got an East Tennessee Spine and Sport injury timeout. What a big, big hit, maybe by Brandon Hayward. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to the station. 24-18 Wildcats, 9:12 to play, third quarter. Back in 60 seconds.
Do we have to do a sponsorship?
I did it.
Okay. It's Hayward.
Let's go, Bashan!
I do that sometimes where I just say it when I'm doing a play, and I immediately go, what did I say? It actually sounds really good.
Keep it up, Bashan! Let's go!
I don't know.
Look at this. Look at this. We need to get our list of sponsors for this one.
Third down, Dragons.
Third down, 17 yards to go. Joshua Keith rolls. In trouble. Lots of trouble. Pass. Caught. He won't get the first down, though. Yes, he will. Breaks the tackle. 40, 35. Still on his way, and down he goes at the 35-yard line. They had him. One thing I can say about this game, they haven't caught a lot of holding penalties, which you a lot of see. I thought they had him, but just a great play there. Eluded some of our better tacklers, and it's first and 10, Dragons at the 34.
An incredible compliment to how much this Clinton team respects the edge rushers. They had 3 guys, 2 linemen and a back out of the backfield that had no other responsibilities that play except to block Elijah Bradley. And he still got pressure.
Will Presley in the ball game, I believe, for the injured Brandon Hayward, who came off on his own power. First and 10, Josh pitches to the running back, and he is tackled at the 30-yard line. Should have lost yardage, or at least no gain on the play. Good job by the Clinton running back. It's second down facing Clinton.
Yeah, and Price Davis on the tackle. Hayward, nice to see him back in. That was scary. He's back in. And good job by Jarrell Jimerson. He's played late in some ball games. He came in to spell Brandon for a moment there. Nice to see him getting in.
A lot of people listening to us or watching our stream, including our good friend Thomas Cox. Thank you, Thomas. 7:52 and counting in the third quarter. 24-18, the Wildcats in the lead. Second down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the Oak Ridge 30. They're moving left to right. Handoff, Goins. Goins hit, falls forward. Tackled, hit at the line. The Wildcats couldn't drag him down. Eventually, the stop is made, I believe, by Malik Howard. It'll be third down facing the Dragons at the 27-yard line.
And if you're familiar, you watch a lot of football, Goins is a really good back. I like him a lot. But it's tough for a back like that in this system. It's similar to, kind of akin to Jalen Hurd or Derrick Henry when they're running out of the shotgun. A bigger back with long strides, they need their best, most efficient, most effective when they can get a couple steps into them. It's hard to do that out of the shotgun.
Third down, 3 yards to go. Joshua Keith will run it himself. And into the secondary, inside the 10. You got to keep an eye on number 3 because he almost scored 6. It'll be first down, goal to go.
Yeah, I mean, he's he's the best player on the field at any given moment for Clinton. You know, they got several really good athletes, and he's the most dangerous one at any given moment. He can beat you with his arm, but tonight, without a doubt, he's been most effective and most dangerous when he keeps it.
What a great game we're watching here at Clinton. Keith and company. First down, goal to go. The ball's at the 9. High snap. Keith will run it. There he goes. He slips and falls. Got lucky. He made a cut and he lost his footing at the 8-yard line.
Yeah.
Brandon Hayward back in the ball game.
Yeah, big Vashon Knowles, he slipped, but he was going to get brought down. Big Zero rounded that corner, and but for the longevity of him staying in this game and being healthy, it was probably a good thing that he slid there, even though I don't think it was intentional, but he saved himself from taking a big shot.
24-18 Wildcats, 6:08 to play. The Dragons have the ball inside the Oak Ridge 10. Big plays for them all night. They've got the ball at the 9. The Wildcats need a stand on defense. They had one earlier where they kept him out on a 4th down play. Man comes in motion. Keith, high snap, handoff, running back. Outside, boom. Tackled hard, driven back by the Wildcats. Izzy Mitchell and let's see, a couple others.
Yeah, it looked like Bryce Dorsey was in on there, one of the first guys that helped bring him down. First carry I've seen from Chauncey Phelps, a senior, number 11 for Clinton. He's still in the game at the backfield position. Goins, they're giving him a little bit of a breather. 3rd down,
goal to go. The ball just outside the Oak Ridge 6-yard line. 24-18 Wildcats. Classic game here from Clinton. 5:15 and counting. Here comes Joshua Keith and the Dragons. They have a lot of people off to the right. One lone running back. Watch Keith running to his left. Keith will get the ball. He runs to his right. He looks to throw. He's sacked! Oh, he goes down! Oak Ridge strips the ball. They're going to say he's down. Price Davis had it, ran with it. The white-headed, bearded man says he was down. The Oak Ridge fans can't believe it. But still, an absolutely huge play by the Oak Ridge defense. It's 4th and goal.
Now they just called Bryce Davis, just kicked the ball to the Clinton sideline. I think he thought that was 4th down or something, and now they've just called Price for a flag, and now Clinton's going to get a first down. What a huge turn of events.
I think they should wave that flag off. He wasn't aware of what was going on.
No, Price didn't do it out of anger. I mean, he did it, and he literally kind of pooch kicked it just to the sideline, and then when he saw the flag, he threw his hands up. I don't think Price was aware.
Anybody watching it, if you're watching it right now, tell me if indeed he was down. You know.
No, I don't think the question's not whether he was down. He wasn't down at all. I think the question was, did they call forward progress stopped? I don't think he ever was down. I just think that and unfortunately, when an official blows a whistle and says it's forward progress, there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can't argue that because it's an opinion.
Well, tell me if he was stopped. The ball is at the 7-yard line. No. The ball will be at the 7-yard line. The Oak Ridge defense coming back on. 4.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. 24-18. What a huge penalty against the Wildcats, and Clinton calls a timeout.
The scoreboard says 3rd down, but it officially still says 4th, which is correct. It should still be 4th down. So thankfully, I was wrong. It won't be an automatic first down. It will still be 4th down and 6. Ball will be at the 7-yard line when we come back from this timeout.
People are telling me, well, I'll let you read what they're texting me. Obviously, we can't see it and back it up from where we are. They're going to say 4th down. It is going to be 4th down facing the Dragons with 4.5 minutes to play. Alex?
Yeah, it is.
What are our friends saying?
Well, it says bang, bang. I mean, Thomas Cox, he says it was a bang, bang. It's hard to have a clear look at it. I mean, and that's the thing. That's unfortunately when there's a play like that, when it's not, hey, he's down, which maybe he was, but to me, I thought they just stopped forward progress. You can't argue that because if you're down, you're either down or you're not. When they've stopped forward progress, it's just a matter of how long until they blow the whistle. And obviously, I'm going to side on the side of Price and Oak Ridge right there, but that's a tough call. And there's been, unfortunately,
Coach Todd Wright says no.
Yeah, he says no, he's not down.
So it's 4th down, goal to go. At the 7-yard line, 4.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Dragons need a touchdown to keep this drive alive. Here comes Keith. End zone. Pass. No way, baby. Turn it over. No flags. No nothing. Oak Ridge ball. First down, 10 yards to go. Back to the sidelines go the Dragons, once again thwarted by the Oak Ridge defense, and Oak Ridge's offense will come onto the field, leading 24-18.
And Izzy Mitchell is fired up. He is fired up. One of the heartbeats of this football team as a senior, as a leader. He was back there in the mix, goes over to his teammates, his coaches, the student section saying, let's go guys, let's put a drive together here. Boy, this freshman's getting more and more time back there playing. Malik Howard in there again to block.
Here's the snap, the handoff to Dozier. Dozier gets a little running room out to the 14-yard line. And you're right, I see it in your eyes. He was just a step away from taking it about 90 yards.
And you just feel like at some point in this game, it's going to happen. I mean, he is so close. He is so close.
Ball's at the 14-yard line, gain of about 8 on the play. We'll call it 7. Handoff to Dozier. Dozier lowers his shoulder. He's across the 15, keeps those legs driving, moves the ball up to the 18-yard line. And let's see. No signal? Yes, there is. 10 Bank of Oak Ridge signal. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
And I will tell you right now, Dozier's going to be sore in the morning. He might need some ice, maybe some Tylenol. He is going to be sore. Nobody else has run the ball as a running back the entire game.
1st and 10 Oak Ridge. The ball at the Wildcat 18. Movement across the line. 5 more yards. Take a step forward, Cardinal and Gray. It'll be first down, 5 yards to go.
In a word, growth. Growth from the young sophomore quarterback. Part of being a quarterback, instead of just a thrower of the football, is all the things besides throwing it. Getting better at your card count, making it more believable. It's twice he's got Clinton tonight. He wasn't doing that early on in the beginning of the year as well. What a job continuing to grow.
1st and 5. Blaine hands it off. Here he goes. He's at the 25, 30, 35, to the 39. 1st and 10 Wildcats at 10 Bank of Oak Ridge. First down, and once again, so very close to taking it to the house. And Oak Ridge has it 1st and 10 of their own 39-yard line.
And they just keep riding 22, and I don't blame him. Coach Gaddis has been around this game a long time, and he's not calling plays, but I guarantee you he's looking at that roster, looking at that tailback and going, just keep feeding him.
3 minutes to play third quarter. Blaine rolls to his right. Man's open. Pass there. Brandon Hayward. He makes the catch out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Gain of about 8. It'll be second down and short for the Wildcats with 2:55 to play.
And Stansberry's done a really nice job on the run, getting his shoulders squared, making accurate passes, which is not hard to do, especially at the high school level. It's not easy to do, is to be able to keep your shoulders square and not just throw, but throw accurately on the run on those rollouts. Dozier has 117 yards here in the third quarter.
Handoff, Dozier. Dozier midfield. Dozier more. 45, 40, 35, 30. Still on his way. Driven out of bounds. Hit out of bounds. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats. A 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. What a great run again by the Jarvis Dozier.
Feed him. Feed him. It's the Dozier buffet right now. Just keep feeding the man. It doesn't matter how tired he is. He's not looking to come out. He's not tapping his helmet. He wants the football.
Officially down at the Dragon 28-yard line. 2 minutes, 44 seconds to play third quarter, 24-18. The Wildcats have stopped them on 4th down inside the 20 twice. Now they're driving. Stansberry rolls to his right, fires a pass. It's caught. Will Presley down the Clinton sideline. Another big gain for the Wildcats.
And I love that. So many times we think of Will Presley as a deep threat, as a big body guy making jump ball plays downfield. What's underrated about him is how fast he is. That time they get him with a quick little out route, and they get him the ball. He places it nicely outside on the run. He gets a chance to use his speed and turn it upfield for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
2 minutes, 39 seconds to play third quarter, 24-18. One of the more exciting Clinton Oak Ridge ball games in many years. The ball is at the 18. Dozier Dozier to the outside. Dozier down at the 15-yard line. Will's trying to block for him, but there was too many black shirts out there.
Yeah, they did. They pulled a Oak Ridge that time defensively. They didn't try to tackle Dozier with one guy, and that's a great strategy. You can't do it with one guy. You got to have gang tackling. You got to have 3 or 4 black jerseys, and they did a nice job that time.
What's it saying? Second down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats have the ball at the Clinton 15-yard line. Stansberry has Will Presley, Brandon Hayward to the right, Almani Rimbert to the left.
Oh, direct snap.
Here comes Oak Ridge. Dozier! He's at the 5. It'll be first down. Goal to go for the Wildcats, I believe. Dozier's slow to get up. He's got to be dead tired. Guess what he has? A 10-back of Oak Ridge, first down. The Wildcats knocking on the door once again. The ball is at the 5. The Wildcats going quickly. Oak Ridge down to 1:50 to play in the third quarter, leading the Dragons 24-18. The Wildcat offense has steadily marched the ball all night long against this Clinton defense. Here comes Blaine Stansberry. 2 receivers to his right. Here's the handoff. Dozier battles. Not much there. Kind of almost a miss handoff. I thought Blaine was going to pull it back for a second. It'll be second down, goal to go at the 5.
Yeah, and the last play, I don't think 90% of the people, it was so discreet. I don't know. We're going to call a timeout. Dave, you want to take a 30 or 60-second timeout? We'll come back and talk about it after this. Sorry to interrupt you. I know.
Simple. Before us.
David Clary, Alex Myers back here at Clinton Oak Ridge inside the Clinton 5-yard line. Stansberry, low snap, Dozier, end zone, touchdown, number 22, DeJavis Dozier, 6 points on the board, and Oak Ridge, who stopped Clinton on the other end of the field, drives all the way down the field, and they've got 6 more on the board.
And that's just a gutsy drive. One of the more impressive, gutsy performances I've seen in a long, long time from a Wildcat. DeJavis Dozier just putting the team on his back, over 150 yards on the night, and we're not through 3 quarters.
30-18 Oak Ridge. Eli Pearson, air offsides. His kick is on its way anyway. It's good. The Wildcats split the uprights. The Wildcats increase their lead over the Clinton Dragons. 1 minute, 12 seconds to play, third quarter, 31-18 Wildcats. We'll be back to Clinton in 60 seconds. Can you take some more pictures and stuff? Like that one right there.
Thomas said the score's messed up.
Score. It's good. Good. 31.
I thought you said it was flip.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it. T said it. I don't know. Is the score?
Somebody said.
Side or is it?
No, it says.
Sometimes it's flipped. Sometimes it'll be like home is.
Yeah, but it's good.
No, it looks right now. No, it's 31. 31.
Yeah, he's got it. It's just a delay.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you.
How long was that drive? What? It's like 92 yards, something like that. 93 to start on the 7.
Here's the kickoff by the Dragons. Wildcats trying to hem him in. He's going backwards. He's going down. Down he goes. Inside the 20-yard line, I believe on the play there, David Jenkins to make the stop. Oak Ridge in the lead, 31-18, a minute, 1 to play. It's been a back and forth ball game all night long. The Wildcats in the lead, fell behind. Clinton scoring 2 of their touchdowns against the Oak Ridge offense. Their defense has scored 2. The Wildcats have the lead 31-18. Let's see what Joshua Keith and this talented Clinton team can do now, starting this drive at the 18-yard line. Snap. Keith running. Sacked. Sacked. Down he goes. The Wildcats drop him again. Oak Ridge makes the stop inside the 20-yard line, and one of the Wildcats is cramping, I believe.
Oh, no, yes, Vashawn Knowles, he's in quite a bit of pain. David, do you want to keep it here or you want to take a timeout?
It's an East Tennessee Spine and Sport timeout. We've got 2 Wildcats cramping. They've gone most of the way. Let's talk a little bit. 48 seconds to play third quarter, 31-18. 2 big stops by the Oak Ridge defense inside the 15-yard line, and the Wildcats each time were able to move the ball down the field. I think maybe one of them was on that interception, but big stops inside.
Yeah, and that's the modern day game of football. You know, it used to be you don't want to give up first downs, you don't want to let them cross midfield. Now it's all about bowing up and toughening up your defense when they get inside the scoring zone. And especially with Clinton, without a real threat to kick field goals, Clinton doesn't really have the option Oak Ridge has to, if they get down there, not force something and just settle for points. Instead, it's either touchdown or bust for them. Thankfully, Vashawn Knowles back up. But yeah, it's been the Oak Ridge defense. The offense, I mean, it's totally been complimentary football, though. As good as the defense has looked, the offense has looked way better than they did last week. Pearson has looked great, doing a little bit of everything. All around, just total complimentary football tonight.
31-18, 2nd and 10. Joshua Keith in trouble, fires a pass, complete. Up the field and tackled at around the 25-yard line. It'll be shy of a first down. We'll check the goings on the reception. He might have gotten it. He did. You know, he's a good one. You talk about his size. He's just a strong young man.
And he's effective when you can get a couple steps and get some momentum going downfield as he did there. And that's why I don't understand why they're doing these sort of delayed handoffs, because as much as Oak Ridge is getting into the backfield, he's not as effective when he gets the ball and there's got 3 white jerseys already around him. But compliment the Oak Ridge defense for that.
35 seconds to play third quarter, 1st and 10. Keith back to pass. Pass incomplete. Give a lot of credit to Elijah Bradley. He might have even gotten a hand on it. It came wobbling out of Joshua's hand. It was intended to number 5 here on the Oak Ridge sideline. 2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Yeah, Lavelle was the intended receiver, and you almost think maybe he heard footsteps because Hayward was coming quickly, but it shouldn't have affected him catching that ball. But here it is, 2nd down and long. And Dave, you almost feel like if you're a Clinton fan, you feel like sitting here kind of feeling the energy of the game. You feel like they have to have an answer right now.
29.6 seconds to play third quarter, 31-18 Wildcats. 2nd down, 10 yards to go from the 31-yard line of Clinton. Joshua Keith back to pass. Goes deep. Man there. Dropped. It's on the turf. Wasn't caught. 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
You may have heard our statistician, Mark Hayes, say that was 6. Absolutely right. Josh Keith, the quarterback, I mean, you couldn't have stood about 3 feet above him and dropped the ball into the bucket any better than that. It was a beautiful pass. They gave him good protection. Nice route down the sideline by the running back, but unfortunately, Goins just couldn't quite haul it in. And Oak Ridge, quite frankly, they got away with one. They dodged a bullet that time.
24.2 seconds. These final moments of the third quarter taking an eternity. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. They've got 3 receivers to the right of the quarterback. Play is halted. We don't have the right personnel. Bonse's not happy. Timeout Wildcats. That's a big timeout loss right there. 24.2 seconds to play. 31-18 Wildcats back to Clinton in 30 seconds. Mention this is what Mike's saying here. Oh, you see it?
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Exciting game you got to watch.
Oh, yeah. You want me to bring it back? back with that and then toss it back to you?
Yeah. You can say whatever you want.
I'm going to.
We need our sponsor list.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know. It's got to be inside one of these, right? Because I'm not. Welcome back to Clinton High School. Coming out of this timeout, Oak Ridge's defense trying to make a stand on 3rd and out. Mike Underwood, former state championship, well, not former, he's a state championship quarterback for Oak Ridge. The last time Oak Ridge won a state championship, he said that's the most disciplined a drive as he's ever seen in high school football. 5 yards offsides that Stansbury helped draw on that hard count was a gorgeous call, and I can't help but agree with you, Mike.
3rd down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. Ball at their own 31-yard line. Got to watch Joshua Keith, number 3. Back to pass. Pressured. Crossed away. Incomplete. It's 4th and 10. Off his fingertips. Will Darrell Keith roll the dice? That would be absolutely suicide. Let's see what he does.
I agree. I wouldn't do it, but in a way I would, because A, you don't trust your kicking game. B, like I just said, the only team that stopped Oak Ridge's offense is Oak Ridge. I don't know that Clinton has an answer for Davish Dozier right now. I tell you right now, they don't. So if you kick this back to Oak Ridge and forfeit possession here, I think this game could get out of hand if Clinton didn't have an answer on that drive, and they didn't. So they're going to punt, and now that they got 8 seconds, they're still running a guy in. I don't know if they'll get this off.
4, 3, 2, 1. They get it off. Willie, the snap is away. The punt is short. Get away from it. Gonna bounce inside the Oak Ridge 40, down to the 35, and that's where Oak Ridge will take over with 7.3 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. 31-18. The Wildcats in the lead, and what has been a fun ball game to watch. And we're glad you're with us on FM 92.7 WIJV, on prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15, and we're streaming this game on the internet, prepradio.com. We got about 800 people currently watching the broadcast as we speak, as Oak Ridge comes to the line. Final play probably of the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 at their own 39. Blaine, Hayward, catch made. And the Dragon goes flying out of bounds. And the Wildcats gain 3. One more play in the 3rd quarter. 3.4 seconds to play. These final 2 or 3 minutes of this 3rd quarter have taken a long time. They're going to say he went out at the 41. It's a gain of 6. 2nd down, 4 yards to go. 3.4 seconds to play. 3rd quarter. 31-18 Wildcats. Stansbury. Dozier drives forward. Close, but no cigar. I think he'll be a half a yard short, but the 3rd quarter is over. The Wildcats head to the 4th and final quarter here in Clinton, leading the Dragons 31-18, and we'll be back to see who will win this ball game. The rivalry began in 1943. Who will win this one? 31-18 Wildcats, back in 60 seconds. Names in here, our guys. On the YouTube channel, go ahead and start reading this off.
Can you type the score?
No, you do.
For those listening on YouTube or prepradio.com, non-radio listeners, you guys can hear us right now. We go ahead and start thanking our sponsors. We got so many of them, and these broadcasts wouldn't be possible without them. I want to thank Todd Fox and the Fox Insurance Group, the Oak Ridge Utility District, the Oak Ridge High School class of 1989, Pizza Inn of Oak Ridge, where we host Crunch Time every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, Tennessee Orthopedic Clinics, CK Wheeler Jewelers, Dr. William Linehan DDS, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, the Oak Ridge Football Boosters Club, Madison Insurance Group, Mortgage Investors Group, Donnie Sharp with East Tennessee Spine and Sport, the Old Town Inn, Tin Bank of Oak Ridge, who sponsors our First Downs, Cook's Comfort Systems, Oak Ridge Pharmacy, OBGYN Associates of Oak Ridge, and Tracy Larrabee CPA.
We're back here at Clinton, Tennessee. Thanks a lot, Alex Myers. For those watching on the stream, he was trying to run down of our sponsors, and we couldn't do it without them.
No, we couldn't. we also couldn't have this lead without number 22, David. Through 3 quarters of play, 30 carries for 164 yards.
We got to get these offensive linemen in this ball game. Any good back will tell you they can't do it without the offensive line. Movement this time by Oak Ridge. Brandon moved. Clinton moved. Let's see. It is going to be a 5-yard step off against your Clinton Dragons. A 5-yard step off against your Oak Ridge Wildcats. That's the correct call. Brandon jumped across the line, and that's a big one.
Ethan Eubanks in there at right tackle. It looks like also Kanan Hickson. He's been in there all season for the Wildcats. Jared Bradford. Badford, excuse me. We'll continue after this.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. They creep up on the line. Handoff, Dozier. Dozier spins. He moves to the 45-yard line. Flag comes down.
Yep, that's going to be a first down.
Alex Myers, I was watching the ball carrier. You saw the flag.
Yeah, I saw the flag. What happened, and I don't really know that it was egregious or intentional, but Will Presley kind of got tangled up with the Clinton defensive back, and Clinton's saying the guy pulled him down. Regardless, it was a little bit after the whistle. Clinton, after Will fell to the ground, a Clinton's player's foot hit Will Presley's helmet, and I think they're going to call unsportsmanlike after the play on Clinton. I don't think it was egregious. I don't think he even meant to do it, but them's the breaks, as they say, and Oak Ridge will get 15 yards.
The Wildcats, I think, on that play might have gotten a first down, and Coach Gaddis is fired up. And there's another one.
And Coach Gaddis aided that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Smoking Joe is smoking hot tonight here at Clinton, Tennessee. 31-18. Another penalty against the Clinton Dragons. The Wildcats in the lead. 31-18. Coach Gaddis is fired up.
Hey, Coach, he's gonna have Tommy John surgery if he's not careful. He has thrown his fist forward toward the right for a signal of first down about 37 times in the last minute and a half.
Coach Keith across the way is trying to talk to his player. An undisciplined series of events here for the Dragons. The Wildcats have it at the Clinton 25. 11:44 to play in the ball game. 31-18. The Wildcats back-to-back 15-yarders and have the ball at the Dragon 25.
And that's a veteran coach feeling it in the moment, and I'm telling you, he aided it. He aided it.
The officials, that guy's gone.
Yeah, that's two in a row on him, and he may have to watch our broadcast from outside the stadium next week, David.
11 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the ball game. The clock is moving. 31-18 Wildcats. No turnovers here. Brandon Hayward, Valen Henderson, receivers. Here's the pitch to Hayward. 20, 15. Oh boy, he got popped right at the 15-yard line, but still a positive play for the Wildcats.
That's a play that you look at the guys when you come in this entrance of this stadium and you say, that's why I'm paying my money. 2 star athletes, 2 rivalry games going at each other, 2 rivalry players, excuse me. That's Marable, the guy committed to Purdue. That's Brandon Hayward, a 3-star athlete for Oak Ridge. And that's just 2 of the best athletes in East Tennessee going at each other. That's fun to watch.
Gain of 9 for the Wildcats. 2nd down and a yard to go. Dozier forward. Dozier. And a flag goes down. We might have a hold against Oak Ridge, perhaps. We'll see. Where they normally throw it, that's a hold. I think Dozier got enough for the first down, but they're going to signal a penalty against Oak Ridge.
And we talked about going back to the offensive line. Cameron Knight, I don't think we mentioned him earlier. He's up there. And then again, Elijah Young. So the 5 guys up front, you know, I say this, they just got called for a penalty, but besides that, they played a pretty clean night. They played an inspired night of football. Obviously, Blaine Stansberry's jersey, even if it wasn't artificial turf, he's been kept clean. He hadn't really been hit all night. And obviously, when you look at a running back having the type of game that Dozier's having, the guys up front are doing something special.
2nd down, 11 yards to go after the penalty. Back to the 25-yard line. Blaine Stansberry, sophomore quarterback, rolls to pass. Looks, fires, pass, catch. Brandon Hayward right in front of the sticks.
And they had They had no shot at stopping that. Great route progression as Valen Henderson took his guy inside on a post route. It took the safety help over the top, took his man, and then Hayward just came from inside, outside, came back towards the sideline. That cross motion right there between those two wideouts created enough space and confusion to give Oak Ridge a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down.
The ball's at the 15-yard line. 10:27 to play in the game. Stansberry looking at a blitz, but Dozier's looking at the end zone. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's at the 3. He's in the end zone. Will it count? It's a touchdown, but there is a flag down. There's a flag down. 10:30 to play. Will it be another hold?
And Oak Ridge's Vashawn Knowles was lead blocking 15 yards downfield in the end zone, and he's down in some pain, and this is...
An East Tennessee Spiny Sport timeout. We'll take a break. 10:30 to play in the ball game. 31-18 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Clinton in 60 seconds. Vashawn Knowles comes off the field. Wildcats 1st and 21 at the 26-yard line. Blaine to pass, maybe run. He is going to try to run, and he goes down at the 27-yard line.
It's interesting with Rang not on the sideline. It's sort of, Gaddis is the acting head coach, but I think he'd be the first one to take.
Rang not on the sideline.
Excuse me. Gaddis is the acting head coach with Rang not on the sideline. It's kind of head coach by committee. That time right before the play, there was 3 or 4 offensive coaches all yelling something at the same time. A little bit of confusion before that one, and it's just one of the things you have to work through here with a sort of unique situation on the sideline tonight.
10 minutes to go in the ball game and counting. 31-18. The Clinton Band playing to our left. Oak Ridge with the ball at the 27, second down, 21 yards to go. Wildcats, single coverage on the right side. Will they go to Wamani again? In the end zone, somebody ran the wrong route.
Yeah, miscommunication between Stansberry and his wide receiver. And I don't know which one was right, which one was wrong, but Rembert took that, looked like he was going to run a fly route straight down the field, and then about 15 yards in his route, he cut inside to make it more towards a post route. And Blaine Stansberry threw that to what would have been his outside shoulder. Somebody broke the wrong way or threw the wrong way.
So now it's third down, 21 yards to go. Wildcats, 9 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the ball game. Really big play in the ball game. They need to at least get into Eli Pearson field goal territory.
They're pretty close right now.
Ball is at the 27-yard line. Dozier's going to run it. Dozier going to cut to the outside, but he's going to go down at around the 24-yard line. The clock still moves. Here comes number 15, the sophomore place kicker who has been brilliant all season long. He'll come in to attempt a long field goal.
Mark Hayes tells me he's 3 of 3 on the season. Let's make it 4 of 4 right here, Mr. Pearson. This is a guy who, according to TJ Hibben, if he had to, the adrenaline was flowing, max of low 50s, maybe about 55. This won't be that far. It'll
41.
be about 41 yards.
From the left hash mark, 9 minutes to play in the game. Snap good, hold good, kick on his way to the goal post, across it. It's good! Eli Pearson, 41 big yards. When you have a kicking game, you win a lot of ball games. And Oak Ridge now leads 34-18.
Longest kick of the year for Pearson, and he drilled it. Mike Kelly pumps his fist in the air. We want to keep it here, Dave? Let's just keep it here. It's not going to go down in the stat book as something people will look back at. But if you're at this game, if you watch the broadcast, David Cleary, perhaps one of the most momentous plays sequences of the entire event, and it sums up Coach Gaddis. You said it, Smokin' Joe, he's lost no flame, no flame in that heart for his love of Wildcat football and his love of beating Clinton. He single-handedly helped get Oak Ridge a first down at that drive. It was an incredible sequence, and Oak Ridge now, if you start doing the math, it's still a two-possession game, but Clinton would have to score 2 touchdowns and convert 2 two-point conversions as Oak Ridge now leads it by 16 points. David, they've not converted 1 conversion yet.
8 minutes, 56 seconds to play. The Wildcats to kick off. Eli Pearson, the sophomore place kicker, will be kicking off. He's done all the kicking duties, punting, kicking, extra points, field goals. He's the guy. Frankie's on deck, but Eli's the man right now.
Yeah,
Oak Ridge, they're aiming to pop it up once again. 34-18 the score. Special teams. Here's the kick. A little harder this time, a little farther. Fielded at the 25. Will Presley grabs him. A host of others. Wildcats knocking him down. It's gang tackling time in Clinton, Tennessee, as the Dragons take over 1st and 10.
Yeah, Will Presley, Izzy Mitchell down there, David Jenkins in there on the stop, and a host of Wildcats, as you said. And they switched something up that time. They got Jawan Goins, a talented big running back we keep talking about. They switched him over, knowing Oak Ridge is kicking to that side of the field, and he was able to receive it. They got what they wanted, but again, with the pooch and such high arc on that ball, he's not able to get a running start to catch it. And it's unfortunate for Clinton, but you're just not really putting him in great positions, I don't think.
8 minutes, 46 seconds to play, 34-18. Let's see what Joshua Keith and company can do. 16-point lead for the Wildcats. Joshua, 3 receivers to his right, back to pass, looks to run. He's gonna go down to the turf. And a minute, Malik Howard tries to grab him. He dumps him at oh man! Bryce Dorsey unloads. Bryce Dorsey.
Wow!
Pummels that Dragon. Oh, what a hit. I didn't even get to say boom, big stick. What a hit.
You can say it about 3 more times. My goodness. David, and Josh Keith, his ability to escape pressure, it's incredible. We are watching 2 teams lay it on the line. He wants this game so badly. Oak Ridge wants this game so badly. This is a high-level football game. What a bunch of fun.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Joshua fires, screen pass. Oh, boy. He makes the catch. Not a whole lot of yards. The Wildcat defensive back, he didn't know where he was going, turned his back. Wildcats lucky they had extra guys out there.
Yeah, he bailed. Unfortunately, he was kind of trying to guard 2 guys, and one guy cut inside, and the play kind of lasted so long, he turned his head back inside to follow the receiver cutting back towards the middle of the field, and Josh Keith just tossed it out to the guy on the outside who the defender was guarding at one point, and easy pitch and catch, but still 3rd and a long 6 to go here for the Dragons.
What a ball game here from Clinton.
This is the most fun I've had in a long, long time, and every week's fun, but this is incredible.
34-18 Wildcats, 8.5 minutes to play in the ball game. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Joshua Keith, back to pass, goes deep, wide open, touchdown. The freshman defensive back got beat. Touchdown Dragons, 8:20 to play in the ball game. And they're right back in it.
And I think Valen's looking like, hey, where's my help over the top? He's talking to Frent, who's usually the deep safety, the last line of defense, and he certainly wasn't deep that time. But who knows? Who knows who's right? Who knows who's wrong? But what I do know is Clinton has a huge, even really bigger than that touchdown. This 2-point conversion.
They're going for a kick.
Kicker.
They're going to kick.
That doesn't make sense mathematically.
Now he's coming out.
I'm not going to take the low-hanging fruit on that one, but mathematically that didn't make sense for Clinton. And wisely, Coach Keith's going to send out for a 2-point conversion.
Well, you know, the ball was spotted a long time ago, but they haven't started the play clock. Now they do. 8:20 to play in the game, 34-24. They go for 2. It's a big play in the ball game, obviously. Trying to continue a two possession game. No good. 3rd try. once again, no good, and the Wildcats will get ready to receive the kick.
And I want to give a shout out to a freshman. I mean, every Wildcat that's played tonight has played well, but Malik Howard has seen his role increase drastically tonight. He was in there at defensive tackle last time, and I almost wonder, do you think, David, it's because of his height they're trying to get as much length on the field to stop Keith because he's not a huge guy, or what? Whatever it is, that freshman has grown up tonight, playing in a big stage, a big moment, and he has played spectacularly.
34-24 the score. The Wildcats up by 10. Still a 2-possession ball game. I hope we get a big dose of number 22 in a minute.
No, yeah. I mean, he's got, I think, 164 yards on 176 yards on 34 carries. When's the last time in the modern game you've seen a running back at any level have 34 carries, and we're not done yet?
Spencer Goldmeyer.
And that's what I was going to say at some point, so I'll just say it now. That drive, when he put us on his back and we went 97 yards down the field, I haven't seen an effort from a running back where he's clearly tired and's got nothing left, but he just keeps going back out there, doesn't ask to come out. I looked at you at one point, David, and I said, this is Goldmeyer-esque. I don't know another way to describe it. The effort from 22 tonight to Jarvis Dozier, it's just, I mean, it's a memorable performance, and we're not done.
Does Coach Keith draw, does he do something fancy right here? I mean, he's going to kick from the right hash. Will he, you know, they're down 10, 8:20 to go. The Wildcats are liable to keep the ball a long time on the ground. Let's see what Clinton elects to do. Can't turn the ball over here. Got to be solid. A lot of football to go. Here's the kick. Oak Ridge fields it at the 25, 30. And that's, I guess that Riker?
Yeah, it was Riker
arms up to the 35-yard line. And the sophomore, good return.
And he's a threat back there. Anytime he's got the ball in his hands, he's got great speed, and he's going to be a player for the Wildcats in the coming years. But that's another guy who's grown. Remember, he had a turnover the first play of the season. He had a turnover. Unfortunately, he got stripped of the ball. But now he's back, getting trusted in a huge moment, and he covers the ball up, gets Oak Ridge up the field, advances it, hangs on to that football. That's another youngster that's growing up in front of us tonight. Coach Gaddis giving him a pat on the head right now.
Timeout situation. The Wildcats have 1. Clinton has 2. 8:15 to play. Blaine Stansberry 1st and 10. DeJavis Dozier. Dozier, 40. DeJavis Dozier to the 43-yard line. Really good gain there. It'll be 2nd down for the Wildcats as the clock moves. 8 minutes to play in the ball game. Gain on the play of some 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4, a long 3 perhaps.
Keep it going. Keep handing it. Keep feeding the monster.
Almonte Rimbert splits to the right. Brandon Hayward to the left. 7:45 to play in the ball game. Single coverage on Almonte Rimbert. 2nd down, about 3. 34-24, a 10-point lead for the Wildcats. Blaine Stansberry, sophomore quarterback. Man comes in motion. He gets the pitch. Blockers in front. 45, 50, 45, 40. Brandon Hayward pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. No yellow on the field. 1st down. A 10 bank of Oak Ridge. 1st down.
Great blocking on the outside by Dozier. Great blocking on the outside by Almonte Rimbert. Springs Hayward, and if he had about 6 more inches on that sideline, he would have kept going. He didn't get tackled. He just got pushed out of bounds, but he almost kept his balance.
7:22 to play in the ball game. This essentially, perhaps, for the region championship. The Wildcats 1-0 in the region. Clinton 1-0 in the region. Wildcats with a victory over Carnes. Their win over Campbell County. 1st and 10. Dozier. Dozier outside. Dozier. Flags are down. On this end of the field, we've been getting some flags, and they've cost Oak Ridge. On the last 2 drives, they're going to call another hold.
Yeah.
Our linemen have got to be getting tired, but you can't hold. We didn't really have anything penalty-wise much at all in the first half. Here in the second half, on this end of the field, when Oak Ridge is driving, we've gotten a ton of them.
Yeah, it's interesting, and if there's anything good about that, it's not like it negated a huge gain, unfortunately. But fortunately for Oak Ridge, it'll still be 1st down. But now you're backed up behind the sticks, and it won't quite be 2nd and 20. It'll be 2nd and, I think about 18. Maybe it's closer to 20.
7 minutes, 14 seconds to play. We appreciate you listening to our broadcast on FM 92.7. I look for Almonte Rembert right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got pretty fresh legs. He's been there all game, but he's got a couple big plays, but he hasn't had a ton of volume. I don't think that's bad. He's certainly calling for the ball as they're looking at the sideline, getting the new play in. Again, Oak Ridge, that penalty doesn't stop the clock, so it's running, and that works in Oak Ridge's favor. Under
7 minutes to go. First down, 20 yards to go. Blaine to pass. He is sacked. Blow the whistle.
Now, they blew the whistle when Bryce Davis stripped the ball earlier, but they didn't blow it then.
Santa Claus didn't want to make the call there.
Well, I don't know. Hey, I want to, I'm trying to behave, David. Quick, I want to thanks to the rest of our sponsors. We got a few of them earlier. I want to also thank MacArthur Animal Hospital, Nathan Miser and Shelter Insurance, Ortho Tennessee and the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic, the Jackson Square Barber Shop, Jim Norman, attorney at law, with Joyce Meredith Flitkoff, Norman PLLC, and JMFN Title Services.
It is second down and forever. Blaine to pass. No, he gives it off to Dozier. Loses his footing. Still on his way. And he's going to be tackled hard. Going to be no gain on the play. It'll be, for the Wildcats now, third down, 26 yards to go. Penalties have been crucial here. The Wildcats need to milk the play clock all the way down to 2 or 3. It's third down and forever.
Yeah.
Third down and Oliver Springs.
And I would love to see just a little screen out to Dozier right here. Get him in the space, because you know, Clinton, those big guys up front are pinning their ears back. They want to get a sack. They want to create a turnover of some sort. I say give yourself a safe play here. Run the clock down.
Coach Gaddis is telling the official he wants to stop the clock with 1 second on the clock. He's standing by the official. He calls the timeout with 1 second on the clock. That is 500 ball games worth of coaching right there. We're down to 5:23 to play. It'll be third and long.
Yeah, and I still like what I liked before. I think Dozier, spin your horse, continue to ride the guy who's got you here. But I think with the situation third and long, they've stopped Dozier up the middle the last couple of times. You know they're going to be pinning their ears back defensively. You know they're going to be trying to get a sack if Oak Ridge puts this ball in the air. But instead of trying to make a play and potentially risking a turnover, get a safe play, toss it out to Dozier on a screen of some sort. Get yourself 15 or 20 yards. If you don't pick up the first down, see if you can get yourself in field goal range.
Zach Durman, John Ulrich, Griffin Cox, Ben George, Matthew Charles, Mark and Shauna Haste, Brian Bennett, Alex Myers, and I'm some old guy. Third down for the Wildcats.
One thing I kind of take that back. I still like the same play, but I don't think you're playing. I think you're playing as this is second down, because a field goal against a team that doesn't kick field goals doesn't really help you. Clinton's got to score 2 touchdowns at this point. I think Oak Ridge is in 4-down territory if they get any sort of yards on this play right here.
5 minutes, 23 seconds to play in the ball game. 34-24 Wildcats. Dozier in the backfield. 3 receivers to his right. Hayward comes in motion, gets the pitch, turns the corner. Not much room. Bang. Down he goes. Stays in bounds. At the 43-yard line, is 4th and long.
Yeah, give Clinton credit. They were ready for that. Oak Ridge, you knew they were going to come out with something, play they liked out of the timeout. They did just that. They got it into the hands of their athlete, Brandon Hayward, and Clinton just did a nice job. There's not a lot of guys that can stay with him side to side. Clinton did a nice job on that one.
Coach Gaddis once again over by the 4th down. Wildcats showing they're going to go for it.
I wouldn't be
16 seconds.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to let them run this down and take a 5-yard penalty and let Eli Pearson kick this.
I think that's what Coach Gaddis is telling the official. 4:38 and counting. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and the Wildcats take the delay of game. So the Wildcat punt team will come onto the field. So Dragons stop the Wildcat drive after they had advanced. Penalties hurt again in Oak Ridge.
And it's interesting you mentioned it's this right side of the field. I guess that would be the north side of the field, away from where you enter the Dragons Stadium. It seems like when we're going this way is when we start having troubles with penalties. But here comes Pearson, and he has been a weapon all year. He's the reason Oak Ridge has a 2-possession lead instead of a 1-possession, because he made that field goal. Big spot for him right here.
Wildcats laid a man onto the field. They're going to have to get going. Play clock down to 7. TJ Hibben will snap it. Wildcats move. That's 5-yard step off. That's another 5 yards. ticked off against the Wildcats, making it a little bit more difficult and a little easier for the Dragons with 4.5 minutes to play in the ball game.
And Oak Ridge has shied away from punting to the Clinton athletes all night. I wonder if he tries to go for distance and boot it as far as he can, or will Coach Kelly instruct his kicker, his weapon back there at punter, to aim this towards the sideline.
Got to have a good snap. We do. Got to have a good kick. We have a great kick. Turning over big time, baby. It goes out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at the 6. Oh, man. Eli Pearson, he got that bad boy to turn over. It rolled, took the perfect bounce inside the 10-yard line. The Dragons have a long field to go.
And isn't it funny how when a normal flow of a game, the players that aren't kickers, they don't really have much to do with kickers. And a big moment like that comes, and all of a sudden you've got assistant coaches, other players coming to high five. The kicker is never really wanted until he's needed. And Pearson has been needed tonight, and really all year he's been such a weapon for the Wildcats, and he's as big a part of this team's success so far as anybody.
They'll start this drive at the 6-yard line. Oak Ridge by 10, 34-24.
Oak Ridge had to drive 93 yards earlier. They will have to drive 94 to stay in this ball game.
4:28 to play. Joshua Keith back to pass. He goes across the way. It's caught. Got to make a one-on-one tackle. Actually falls down at the 20. Giving a little soft coverage there. It'll be 1st and 10.
And that middle's kind of been wide open all night. There's just those little underneath things, and Clinton has not always taken them. They've gone for more shots, but obviously Clinton, you've got to start playing with a little more sense of urgency right now. After this play snap, there'll be under 4 minutes to go in this ball game.
34-24 the score. Clinton quarterback Joshua Keith, empty backfield. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to the right. 4 minutes to play. Keith rolls, runs. Gormley tries to tackle him. He runs out of bounds at around the 31, and the Wildcats might have hit him late.
Well, it was a really nice job by T.J. Hibben as he stepped out, and I would say he hit him late, but he didn't really hit him. He held up and kind of caught himself as to not lower the shoulder, and I think it was a really kind of mature decision by the official, because on the Clinton sideline, under that pressure right in front of Coach Keith, it would have been really easy to throw a flag, but I think that was the right call.
It is another first down for the Dragons at the 32-yard line. 3:54 to play in the ball game. 10-point lead for the Wildcats. Joshua Keith, 3 receivers left, 3 to the right. Pressured, fires. Got to cover somebody out there.
It's the running back that's wide open every time. It's the underneath stuff they're giving up to Jawan Goins, but it's not like he's coming out of the backfield. They're lining him up. They're going 5 wide receivers, 5 wide, I should say. So he's lining up in the slot, and somehow he's getting missed.
Second down, 3 yards to go. 3:48 to play in the ball game. 34-24 Wildcats. 3 receivers to the left. The ball at the 39-yard line of Clinton. Keith will hand it to his running back. Oh boy, that didn't go anywhere. He gets up to about the 39. He's going to be short of a first down, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah, he tried to turn that back to his right side, and that left side of Oak Ridge's defense, it was Elijah Bradley. He said, no, sir, you're not going anywhere. You're going down to the turf.
Loss of a yard. Third down, 3 yards to go, 3:25 to play in the ball game. Third down, as I said, 3 yards to go at the 39. Joshua Keith facing a 4-man front. Here comes the pressure. Here comes the quarterback firing. Here's the pass, dropped. Or was it caught? I think that ball was dropped. In and out of his hands. 4th down, 3. Play of the ball game coming up, perhaps.
And we've talked about how he's been open. He had a chance to catch that ball, but he was much more covered up that time. He had to have a good timing on that throw, and he did. It was dropped, but much better coverage that time. It was Valen Henderson who was over there in the coverage.
The Wildcats have stopped them a couple times on 4th downs. Right here, 3:10 to play. Will Big Joshua run it? I would if I were him. He is. And he is going to not get it. Down he goes. And I think down go the Dragons. 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Joshua couldn't get it. What a great effort. What a terrible spot.
They're going to try to call for a measure. Coach Gaddis is signaling first down Wildcats. He's saying why. I'm reading his lip. He's going, why? We're almost an entire yards short, and it's easy to see. I'm 40 yards away from where the ball is. It's not even close.
There is no way in the world. It was a terrible slug of Coach Gaddis. He's got to get off. Coach Mitchell's saying, Coach, get off the field. Get off the field. They're going to stretch it. He didn't get it. Oak Ridge ball. Oak Ridge takes over on downs. The Dragons stopped again. Joshua, he's been so good all game long, but he just didn't have enough. Who made the play?
A host of Wildcats.
That'll do. It'll be Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go. 2 minutes, 59 seconds to play. Clinton has 2 timeouts. Oak Ridge by 10, trying to beat the Dragons for a school record 14 consecutive times. But they have 2 minutes, 59 seconds, so it's not over. The Wildcats just got to keep it on the ground. 2-possession ball game, power backfield, power running back. He's got it. Dozier, 30, 25, 20, to 19. The Dragons watching the clock tick. Watching once again the same thing that's happened 13 consecutive years. 2:42 to play in the ball game. 34-24. I need a break. We'll be back to Clinton following this 30-second timeout.
Dozier show.
Scott. 38 rushes for 206 yards. Yeah, it seems like it.
Look at the Clinton crowd.
Welcome back to Clinton, Tennessee. The orange and black fans heading to the exits here at Clinton. 14 years in a row, the Wildcats trying to beat the Dragons. That would be a school record. We did it from 73 to 85, 13 in a row. We're on a 13-game streak now. First down, 10 yards to go at the 19. DeJavis, Dozier, gains 3 or 4 yards. What a game DeJavis has had. They did exactly what they needed to do tonight. They've got a great quarterback, and we've made some big plays through the air, but it has been the legs of the senior running back, DeJavis Dozier. 2:25 to play, 10-point Wildcat lead.
39 carries, 208 yards, going for his 40th carry. The old school 70s and 80s football fan in me loves this. I love it.
Full house backfield. Dozier with a blocker in front. Cuts outside, but he can't get outside. He goes down at the 20. Darrell Keith, head coach of the Dragons, 0-3 against the Wildcats. About to go 0-4.
I want to give credit. I don't know if you know the player, the roster we don't have a 34 listed. I think that's Alex Stewart's son, maybe? No. I don't know who it is, number 34.
Could be.
They're out in the field blocking as well, so I want to try to give credit.
1 minute, 22 seconds to play. Nope, 1:29. The Wildcats third down, 10 yards to go.
Michael Howard at fullback.
And here's the handoff to Dozier. Dozier to the 20. And the Wildcats letting the clock tick. The Wildcats probably will go for another field goal here. Although Clinton calls a timeout. They have one left. There's 1:13 to play. Oak Ridge in the lead, 34-24. Regardless, I know the Clinton fans, if Oak Ridge holds on and wins, they're going to be upset, disappointed, because it's the same song, 14th first. But you have to admit what an exciting ball game this has been.
One of the more compelling, competitive, and I mean that for both sides. Whoever would have won this game. A bunch of really good athletes. Teams just laying it all on the line tonight. And Oak Ridge having to overcome the adversity of their head coach not being in the building tonight. Everything that entails, we don't know what that entails because we really haven't seen it.
Coach Gaddis, a veteran move here. He just got his entire team up in the huddle for that last timeout. I don't know what the signal was, what the message was. I have a feeling it was something along the lines of let's finish this.
Alex, I know you're going to go down on the field to do interviews. He doesn't talk much. He's a little shy, but try to track down number 15, Eli Pearson. He's kind of shy. Maybe you can get him to talk. Almani Rimbert, Dozier, obviously. Here comes Oak Ridge, another attempt for a field goal. The holder, Adam Washington. TJ Hibben the snap. Eli the kick. Oh, he hits another good one. And guess what? It's into the Wild band. It's good. 3 more points on the board. It's 37-24 Wildcats. And we'll be back with the Oak Ridge kickoff in 60 seconds.
David, how many alum?
Welcome back to Clinton, Tennessee. Eli Pearson's kick is going to be returnable at the 30, 35. Will Presley, Riker Arms, and a couple other Wildcats make the stop. The Dragons will have it 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Mike, the Wildcats trying to beat Clinton for a school record 14th consecutive time, but what a game we have seen here tonight.
This has been one of the most exciting games I can remember in a long time, dude. I have really, really enjoyed this game tonight here in Clinton. It just doesn't get any better than this. This is what high school football is all about. A great rivalry, really two really pretty good teams, and battling it out here back and forth. You know, and the Wildcats looking good here in the fourth quarter in particular.
Ball's at the 41-yard line. They're moving right to left. 1 minute, 2 seconds to play in the ball game. Joshua Keith, one lone running back. Joshua rolls to his right, fires a pass, complete. Up the sideline, pushed out of bounds around midfield. Officially, that's where he goes out. We are under 1 minute to play here in Clinton.
This has been one of a really hardly contested game. Well, there have been some of the hardest tackles I've seen in a long time in this game, David. There are going to be some very sore young men in the morning.
Second down, a yard to go. 55.9 seconds, 37-24 Oak Ridge. Clinton needs 2 touchdowns. Here's a pass. Boom!
Fumbled it.
Fumbled. Will it be the Wildcats recovering or an incomplete pass?
They call it an incomplete pass, but man, as soon as he got that ball, he got blasted.
You are absolutely right, Mike. This game has been hard hitting from the beginning. Both teams.
Yes, they really have. That. I mean, he got jarred loose from the ball. He being Derek Bean that time. Derek caught the ball, but as soon as he did, he got blasted. And he couldn't hang on to the ball. He got hit so hard.
The Wildcats trying to go 2-0 in the region, with Lenoir City and Campbell County to go. Keith running, now pitches it to Goins. He's stuck. He is stuck by J.T. Gormley at the 45-yard line, but not before he picks up a first down. The ball is in Oak Ridge territory. You know, Joshua Keith, he's a 4-year starter. This is the 4th time we've had to face this guy. I'll be so happy to see him go.
Well, he is an athlete, is he not? He's one of the most talented young men I've seen in a long time. Just when you think you've got him, you don't.
From the 46-yard line of Oak Ridge, 42 seconds to play. Joshua running, has running room. heading toward the Oak Ridge sideline, and he's going to slide out at around the 42. He didn't get a whole lot. Ran about 50 yards to get about 4. There's 30 seconds to play. 37-24, Oak Ridge in the lead. Joshua Keith, the senior quarterback. He'll be going to UT Martin next year. They've got receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. The Wildcats have won 13 straight in the series, going for their 50th win all time.
That's outstanding, David.
Joshua Keith, the pass. He's going to throw it into the end zone. It's up for grabs. It is batted down by Dallas Frent, Valen Henderson, and there's a dragon down in the end zone. What an arm. He threw it, and then a flag goes down.
A late flag.
Bryce Davis must have said something. He must have said something.
He must have, because that was a way late flag, and he was just walking away. I don't understand. That was a highly unnecessary penalty, as there's an injury on the field, too, in the end zone, David.
23.7 seconds to play. Remember, we'll have the final statistics. Mark and Shauna Haste. We'll have player interviews down on the field. Alex Myers will take care of that. I told him I want him to talk to Eli Pearson. I tell you, he's a shy guy. He doesn't talk much. He's only a sophomore, but we need to talk to him. That punt was the nail in the coffin, and his kicking has been superb all season, but that punt was just a thing of beauty.
It certainly was. I mean, it spiraled up, and then it hit the field and rolled forward, and then it took a left-hand turn and went out of bounds on about the 3-yard line, putting on the 7. Thank you, Mark. I'm corrected. 7-yard line. Just a tremendous punt. You're talking about flipping the field, David. Eli did exactly that, and that really hurt the Dragons, because they had such a long way to go. And as good as the Oak Ridge defense is, they stood a little chance of driving the ball all the way down the field, and of course they did not.
Nice round of applause for the Clinton player who gets up. Let's see. I think is that number 7?
Bryson Maddox, number 7 for the Dragons.
Good player for them. Really good player for the Dragons.
He was, and he got shaken up on that play. Really glad to see him up and walking over to the side. He's going to be okay. He's just got his bones jarred real good.
Talent-wise, this is probably the best Clinton team. They're going to call this penalty against Clinton. It is unsportsmanlike conduct against the Dragons, all the way back to the 43-yard line.
Oh, wow. I don't know what transpired. We couldn't tell. Of course, we're 60 yards or 70 yards away.
All I see is Darrell Keith, our head coach, is out on the field after talking with his injured player. Coach Keith and his hat, wandering over back to the sideline. 23.7 seconds to play, 37-24. The Wildcats are 49-12 all-time against Clinton, going for the big 50 here tonight at Clinton. Joshua will have it third down and Claxton. It's about 22 yards to go for a first. 37-24 the score. The ball's at the 43-yard line. You got to give a lot of credit to this quarterback for the Dragons. He's superb. 3 receivers to the right. He's going to drop back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Here's the pass. It's caught. There's another big pop by Bryce Davis. He didn't get him down, but the Wildcats will take him out again. Fundamentals are the key at Oak Ridge High School, and a great tackle over there to keep him down at the 42-yard line.
Man, he just clipped his leg right out from under him. He being Brandon Hayward on stop for the Wildcats after a big hit by Bryce. Bounced off, got outside. He thought he was going to get up the field, but Brandon Hayward would have no part of it.
Clinton lost to Cleveland. Clinton lost to West. Clinton lost to Powell. Here's Keith across the way. Pass is caught. Another tackle. Malik Howard. Actually, David Jenkins there along with Bryce Dorsey, Dallas Frent. 5 seconds to play. 37-24. The Dragons trying to make it look a little better. It's hard to make 14 in a row look good, though. They're going to spike it with 3.2 seconds to play. Mike, Clinton's coaches, Clinton's fans said, "We coming." But I can tell you Oak Ridge is going home with a victory here at Clinton, Tennessee.
Amen, David Clary. On number 50, that is a huge goal for the Wildcats to reach that tonight on this special night here in 2023, September the 22nd.
3.2 seconds to play. Joshua rolling, fires it. Ball game. Oak Ridge has defeated the Clinton Dragons by a final score of 37-24. The two teams will shake hands. The Wildcats, like I said they were coming. They are going home with a loss, the Dragons are. The Wildcat alumni who are coaching on the staff, great people, 0-4.
Yeah, and a great crowd here at Oak Ridge tonight. The fans really helped this team out tonight, David. They showed up in force, and they were very loud and very proud of this football team as they come away with a huge victory here in the land of the Dragons. The Wildcats walk away with a 37-24 victory, and most importantly, you know, they remain undefeated in the region, as we've got Knox Central next week over there in Knoxville.
2-0, the Dragons fall to 1-1. The Wildcats have Lenoir City and Campbell County remaining on their region schedule. The Wildcats have won 37-24. People have been telling me, walking up to me and saying, there's a little more pop or in my voice. When we play Clinton, I can't help it. I grew up here. My first game I ever called was in this press box, 1976.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of them.
Tremendous.
But I don't know if we've seen one more exciting than this ball game.
What's so ironic about you saying that is you remember my first game ever on the broadcast team was right here in Clinton. And you remember what happened to me. I knocked the antenna into the fan and made a huge noise and embarrassed myself the very first time I was here. But I'll always love these Oak Ridge Clinton games. I love playing in them. I love watching them.
You know, Mike, what do you think? Obviously, I know Coach Rang wishes he was here, could be a part of this. But what do you think? Coach Gaddis told me he was just going to be a manager. He was going to be just kind of there to manage the game. He looked like the Smokin' Joe Gaddis that we've known throughout his tenure as the head coach. He was so fired up on the sidelines for the Wildcats tonight.
And I had to laugh when Clinton got that personal foul penalty. And one of their players got kicked out because Joe was agging them on that we got a first down, and the officials were kind of slow about getting it in, and it was. Joe Gaddis did a great job, and that was a great move by Derek Rang.
The Oak Ridge players are in front of the Oak Ridge band. The fight song is being played. The Wildcats are dancing in the end zone because they have come to Clinton and they have beaten the Dragons a school record 14 consecutive times. 37-24 the final score. It's such a different contrast. You look to our left, you see a very somber Dragon team. The best team they've had in years, and they still fall on their home field to their rivals from across the county. 37-24 is the final score. Great game plan by Coach Rang, Coach Parton, Coach Hawkins, the whole staff. Great management by Joe Gaddis. Great individual effort by DeJavis Dozier. Great quarterback play by Blaine Stansberry. Great defensive effort by the Wildcats. The offensive line blocked superbly to give Dozier so many yards, so many positives in this game, so much different from a week ago. Tonight, the Wildcats showed up and played an outstanding football game.
They certainly did. And, you know, it was very exciting. For those of you that can't watch it, please watch the replay of this game. You're going to enjoy it as much as we did live, because there was so much action in this game, so many different things to happen. You know, we opened up and we fumbled the ball, and they pick it up and run, 58 yards for a touchdown. Oh, man, that scared me. And then we came right back and scored and got the lead because they can't make an extra point. And it just kept going back and forth all night long. You know, we'd score, then they'd score, then we'd score, then they'd score. And it was just an exciting game all the way around, and the Wildcats, pulled out a huge victory. Number 50. How exciting is that?
The Wildcats win 37-24, celebrating on Clinton's field like they've done so many times before. This is the 50th. This is the 50th win all time. The student section has been great. The community came out in big numbers. The Wildcats, and my concern right now is Vashon Knowles. As we wait for our first player interview, he was on crutches, but he's had a little bit of an ankle issue as of late. Let's see who we can track down for interviews. Looks like Coach Gaddis getting hugs all around. These seniors played for Coach Gaddis. You got to remember that. They played for him as sophomores. Coach Cummings in between as the Wildcats are heading off the field here at Clinton as the Dragon somberly continuing their conversation down here to our left. Coach Darrell Keith, he's really gotten Clinton going again, but still not good enough to beat the guys in Cardinal and Gray. As I look down on the field, do you see Alex Myers? Let's go to him. He's got DeJavis Dozier.
Hey, you guys, we're down on the field now with DeJavis Dozier. DeJavis, I mean, this is the game, right? Every year in the summer, Coach Rang all off season. Yeah, you want to win as many games as you can. Yeah, you want to make a state championship run, but you got to beat Clinton. That's all he heard. You as a player, you know that. How big was this game tonight?
It was very big. I mean, last week, Coach Rain got ejected, so we came into this week knowing that he wouldn't be able to play, knowing that Coach Gass had to step up, and he already told me all throughout practice I had to push through. Last week in McMahon, I was getting tired and stuff like that, fourth quarter. First time getting that many carries, which was 20. Come here today, I was tired, but I pushed through. I think you said 40-something carries, so I had to push through in the day. I pushed through, make touchdowns, make plays, just be a playmaker.
There's an individual effort that I want to talk about in a moment. Before I do that, the big guys up front, not a lot of seniors up there, but those guys showed a lot of heart tonight, a lot of fight. You did a great job running, but running backs, it doesn't matter who you are. You can't run without those guys up front. Talk about the job they did all night long.
Look, they're new line and stuff like that, but I make sure that they make sure that I'm doing my part, and I make sure they're doing their part. I'm always trying to motivate them when they're feeling down, if they're making a bad snap, bad block, bad pull, trying to motivate them, but they always do their job. And even if they make a mistake, they always still try to do their job. They always trying. That's all I can ask for as a running back.
You sat behind, I don't want to say you sat behind, you got carries the last couple of years, but it's been a crowded backfield. Amani's experienced it. You've experienced it. Jai Hunley was a great tailback last year. There's only one ball and only one person can hold it at one time. How special has it been after waiting to finally say, this is my rock, this is my team this year?
Yes, sir. I mean, like I said, everybody get their chance when it comes to high school football. At any level, I feel like everybody get their chance. And I knew that coming into it, I had to be behind people and stuff like that. But I know my senior year, when I'm by myself, I have to just step up. When I step up, I got to do my thing. Simple as that.
There's a 3-yard drive, and I don't know if another Wildcat touched it. I've been watching Wildcat football for about 20 years now that I can remember. And there's only one guy that I can ever really remember having a performance like that, a guy before your time, Spencer Goldmeyer in 2004, 2005. I know Coach Gaddis has probably made you guys watch highlights, but the way you had your hands on your hips, I could tell you were exhausted, and everybody in here knew what was going to happen. You were going to get it again. Talk me through that drive, just the sheer willpower. Could you feel it? Was it adrenaline? How did you do that?
So coming back that Monty, I think it was off of Monty's touchdown drive. That next drive, I told myself that I had to get break loose. I was getting 5-6 yard carries and stuff like that, which was pretty good. But at the same time, I knew I had to get make some big plays. So that drive I came out, that first run, I had like about a 20-yard run. Got tackled, so I'm gonna keep pushing. I wasn't tired at that point. Got down over there to like the 20, I'm pretty sure, and I felt a little tired, felt a little exhausted. Got tackled I got tackled on the line of scrimmage. I was like, I'm tired. I got pushed in the end zone. I get 3 at least. I get 3. So coach timeout was blessed. It was a blessing. It was a blessing for sure. I came out, I felt re-energized. Came out and I scored. Simple as that.
Hey, 2-0 in region. It's got to feel good. It feels extra good doing it at Clinton, doing it on their home field, doing it in front of their fans. Congratulations on an excellent night.
Thank you.
Over 40 carries for DeJavis Dozier, over 200 yards. That's a throwback performance from a throwback player. We're going to keep it right here. Next up, a guy, we don't talk to special teams players very often. A lot of times it's the guys scoring the touchdowns, it's the guys making the sacks. But Eli Pearson tonight in a game where from the jump, Clinton was having extra point special teams difficulties. Tonight, in a two-possession game where you hit multiple field goals, your longest of the year, a 41-yarder. That game is not won without special teams play, in large part your play. Eli, how do you feel about your performance tonight?
I mean, it's probably the best I could have done. I feel really good about it.
I know David Clary told me before I came down here, he said, I want you to get Eli. He's a little bit shy, and that's okay. As you're going out, I notice a lot of times people just kind of leave the kickers alone. They let them do their own thing. They don't bother them until you guys are really needed. And that punt that you had when the game was very much still in question, 8 minutes or so left in the game, down up by 10, you had perhaps maybe the best punt you'll ever have as a Wildcat. Pinned them inside, I think, the 7-yard line. I saw you come back. Coach Kelly dapped you up, a bunch of other coaches. All of a sudden, you were the most popular guy on the team. Walk me through that.
I mean, it was a perfect snap by TJ, and I mean, everyone blocked for me, and it was a perfect hit by me, pretty much.
Rivalry games are talked about, and I think sometimes it's overblown, but Clinton and Oak Ridge, it cannot be overstated how much emotion is involved, how much passion from both sides. How does it feel coming out here, being a huge part of this win and getting a win for Coach Rang, who wasn't able to be out here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's an honor being a sophomore out here kicking for Oak Ridge, and I mean, it just feels great winning.
Congratulations. Go enjoy this one.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Eli Pearson, who gets a congratulations and a well-deserved handshake from Coach Joe Gaddis. Coach Gaddis now with us now. You thought you'd escaped my long breath interviews, but I got one more for you here.
I had forgotten until David hollered at me. I forgot the routine. It's been 2 years.
Well, welcome back, Coach. First off, before we get into any of that, congratulations. Huge, huge win. And as I look over at Josh Keith, that's a heck of a player, heck of a performance. Losing effort tonight from Clinton, but he did all he could out there. It's a great, great effort.
He almost beat us single-handedly. We were worried about Goins, and we did a good job stopping him. But we didn't stop this guy. Joshua Keith is great, and I hope we don't face a better quarterback, a better athlete than him.
It'll be hard pressed too. He's a great player and a great kid as well. From everything I've heard, Coach. There was a sequence there in the second half when it felt like the straw was about to break the camel's back. You guys were up by a couple of possessions, threatening to score, but you guys had kind of stalled. Clinton gets a 15-yard penalty, and it was retro throwback Joe Gaddis. David Clary even called it Smokin' Joe, as you were emphatic that it was a first down after a penalty. I use the term aided, maybe agged on was a little bit of a word. Regardless, you did your part to support the team. There was another flag. The emotions of this game, you talked about it before the game. You thought you were going to be calm, cool, and collected. It was never going to happen. Just tell me how it felt being down there on the sideline tonight.
I was a nervous wreck because I didn't want to do anything that might cause us to lose the game for Coach Rang and these players, but especially with Coach Rang being out. I didn't want to screw it up, so to speak. And it turned out, I'm elated now the way it turned out, but I was a wreck. I thought we had the better team without any question. At halftime, we gave them 2 scores. We gave them a score on the second play on the fumble. They picked up and scored. And then the last play of the half on the interception, all of a sudden we've controlled it and we're down 18-17. But I told them at halftime we had the better team. We were going to win this game. We just needed a stop or two on defense, keep scoring on offense, and we did those things. And the kicking game, as you said, was unbelievable. And that's the first thing I said in the locker room. I said we've got the superior kicking game. They've got some skilled people on return game, but we have a great kicking game compared to theirs, and it helped us a lot. But I'm elated that we won. This was a great atmosphere. This game puts us in the driver's seat for the region championship. It doesn't win it, but it puts us in the driver's seat. And this was just a huge win for us, and a good come-from-behind win. We need to face adversity like that, and some of it was self-inflicted, but still adversity, and overcome it, come back and win.
There's only so much time we have, and we talked to a special teams player. We talked to DeJavis. I'll get to him in a moment. The defense, though. The 18 points, you look at the scoreboard and you're going, oh, the defense, they were able to move the ball. The defense gave up 6 points. They didn't give up in the first half. They didn't give up a 2-point conversion attempt all game. Talk about their performance, because this win doesn't happen without them.
No, great performance. Like I said, we gave them 2 scores. The offense gave them 2 scores in the first half. They scored 1 on their own, and then they hit the long pass in the second half, 1 long play, and that was it. We did a great job on defense, and it doesn't look like it on the scoreboard, but we played a great defensive game. I've been pleased and somewhat surprised with our defense as an athletic director because I didn't think we were playing that good defense in the preseason. We've gotten better and better. Coach Hawkins and the defensive staff, they've done a great job. And Coach Rang and Coach Parton and the offensive coach have done a great job with the offense. I thought we were a far cry tonight from what we were at McMinn last week. Whole different football team.
Yeah, totally. And last couple questions, I'll get you out of here. I have to get your commentary on DeJavis Dozier. Over 40 carries. I don't even know you could. It was illegal. I thought it was illegal to give over 30 carries to a running back. How they play football these days. But over 40 carries, over 200 yards. That's a Goldmeyer-esque performance, is what we were calling it.
I didn't study film. I did look at a little film of the Powell game because it was on TV. But I know this. I've seen a little bit of Cleveland on the highlights. I saw a little bit of West on the highlights on Friday night. I saw what happened, with the teams that beat them have run the ball on them. And I told DeJavis that before the game, I said, DeJavis, you need to be well rested because you're going to carry the ball a ton. And I said 30 plus. I didn't know it was going to be 40, but I didn't call those plays, but I did let the guy know that was calling them, we need to feed DeJavis Dozier because they weren't stopping his ass. Excuse me.
Well, hey, Coach, emotions are high. We get that. Congratulations. Yeah, we got a tape delay. Certainly. David hit the red button. No. In all seriousness, though, Coach, congratulations. I'll let you go and celebrate with, I'll call it your team. You're the athletic director. This is one of your teams, as are all the athletic teams. If there's one to go out on, it would be this one.
That's what I told the team. If I had to come back and coach one game, I didn't think I ever would. It would be Clinton at Clinton with this atmosphere, Clinton having a good team, and it worked out great.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to talk to you again, Coach. Coach Joe Gaddis on his way out to talk to the locker room. And I don't know, David, there's something going on outside the field. I'm ready to toss it back up to you guys. I don't know what's going on there. There's something going on outside, and probably a good time for me to toss it back up to you guys if you guys are ready, as there's a little bit of a distraction going on here outside. I hope there's nothing going on that would lessen what's happened here today. David?
Thanks a lot, Alex. Appreciate that. Mike, you got the scoring summary. In a minute, we'll go to Mark with the final stats.
Okay, thank you, David. First thing, the game started off on an odd note. Oak Ridge fumbled on the 40-yard line, and Shawnee Phelps picked it up and ran it in for a 40-yard touchdown, and the Wildcats got down early with 11 minutes and 40 seconds, shortly after the game started, 6-0. Daniel Ortiz came in, his kick was no good, and the Dragons led 6-0. Then Brandon Hayward intercepted one on the 24-yard line, and then Oak Ridge drove down to the 1-yard line where DeJavis Dozier ran one in from 1 yard out, and the Wildcats tied it up 6-6. Eli Pearson then came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led with 5 minutes and 57 seconds in the first quarter, 7-6. And then a few minutes later, Keith, the quarterback for the Clinton Dragons, threw a 25-yard touchdown pass to Wesley Phillips, and the Dragons took the lead 12-7. They ran for the 2-point extra point, but Oak Ridge stuffed it, and the lead remained 12-7 in favor of the Dragons. And in the second quarter, with 10 minutes and 5 seconds left in the game, Dozier again ran one in from 9 yards out, and the Wildcats went up 13-12. Then Eli Pearson came in, the kick was good, and the Wildcats led 14-13. And then with 1 minute and 39 seconds left in the first half, Eli Pearson came in and kicked a 15-yard field goal, and the Wildcats went up 17-12. But then moments later, with 1 minute, 1.6 seconds left, Oak Ridge threw an interception, and Demond Marble ran one back for 85 yards, took the air out of the Wildcats, and they took an 18-17 lead. The 2-point conversion again failed, and they went into halftime leading 18-17 with a very shocked Oak Ridge crowd and football team for that matter. So the Dragons led it by 1 at the halftime, but it didn't take long for the Wildcats to get right back on track, because with 10 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter, Blaine Stansbury threw a beautiful 57-yard touchdown pass to Amani Rembert, and the Wildcats took the lead again, 23-18. Again, Eli Pearson came in, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 24-18, and they never relinquished the lead after that. I will tell you that right now. Then with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the third quarter, Dozier ran one in from 5 yards out to put the Wildcats up 30-18. Then Eli Pearson's kick was good, and the Wildcats led 31-18. But the scoring was not over, as Eli Pearson then kicked another field goal from 31 yards, and the Wildcats went up 34-18. And then the Dragons came roaring back with a 57-yard pass to Wesley Phillips, and the Dragons went on the board 24-34. The point after touchdown was incomplete. They passed it. It went incomplete. The Wildcats led 34-24. Then with 1 minute and 8 seconds left in the game, Eli Pearson kicked an 18-yard field goal, and put the Wildcats up for the final score of tonight's game. Oak Ridge 37, the Clinton Dragons 24. And now back for the halftime, for the post-game statistics to Mark Haste.
Oak Ridge victorious tonight by a final score of 37-24 over the hosting Clinton Dragons. Look at the statistics first for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge was led on the ground by DeJovis the Bull Dozier. He had 41 carries, 205 yards. Blaine Stansberry had 5 carries for 19 yards. Brandon Hayward, 2 carries for 13 yards. And Alamani Rembert had 1 carry for -8. So as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 49 times, gaining 229 yards on the ground. That's an average of 4.7 yards per carry. Phenomenal. Through the air, Oak Ridge quarterback Blaine Stansberry, he was 11 of 18 for 216 yards. He did have 1 interception on the night. His long was for 54 yards. Receiving that long pass was Alamani Rembert. He was 3 of 11. Brandon Hayward, 6 receptions for 71 yards. Obviously, Alamani Rembert had 3 receptions for a total of 111 yards. Brandon Hayward, as I said, 6 receptions, 71 yards. DeJovis Dozier had a 24-yard reception, and Will Presley had a 10-yard reception for the Wildcats. So as a team, the Wildcats had 229 yards on the ground on 49 carries. They had 216 yards on 11 receptions for a total offense tonight of 445 yards. Wildcats gained 18 first downs in the ball games. They were penalized 12 times for 97 yards. Now looking at Clinton, they were led on the ground by their quarterback, Joshua Keefe. He had 48 yards on 15 carries. He averaged 3.2 yards per carry. His long was 18 yards. Juwan Goins, he had 8 carries for 11 yards, and Chauncey Phelps had 3 carries for 3 yards. So as a team, the Dragons rushed the ball 26 times, gaining 62 yards on the ground. That's an average of 2.4 yards per carry as a team. Through the air, Dragons were much more successful. Quarterback Joshua Keefe, he was 22 of 44 for 302 yards. He had 2 interceptions on the night. His long was for 67 yards. Receiving the 67-yard pass was Wesley Phillips. He had 3 receptions total for 98 yards. Juwan Goins had 10 receptions for 94 yards. Damian Leavell had 65 yards on 6 receptions. Damon Marable had a 26-yard reception. Bryson Maddox with an 11-yard reception, and Jeremiah Lee had an 8-yard reception. So as a team, the Dragons had 62 yards on the ground on 26 carries. They had 302 yards on 22 receptions for a total offense tonight of 364 yards. Dragons had 16 first downs in the ball games. They were penalized 9 times for 81 yards. Looking at the team side by side, total offense, or rather rushing yards, Oak Ridge 229, Clinton 62. Passing yards, Oak Ridge had 216 passing yards, Clinton 302. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 445 total offensive yards, Clinton 364. First downs, Oak Ridge had 18, Clinton 16. Penalties, Oak Ridge had 12 penalties for 97 yards, Clinton 9 penalties for 81 yards. Time of possession, pretty even. Oak Ridge had the ball 24 minutes, 26 seconds. Clinton, 23 minutes and 34 seconds. Again, this is Marquez, where Oak Ridge is victorious tonight over the hosting Clinton Dragons by a final of 37-24. David?
Thanks a lot, Mark. We appreciate that. What an exciting ball game here today. I mean, obviously we're elated as Oak Ridge fans. A school record, 14 straight, and that is the 50th win all time against the Dragons. The Wildcats are now 50-12 all time against Clinton. 5 of those wins came in the 40s. So the Wildcats, since 1948, have just dominated this series. But this was a really, really good Clinton team. They've got a lot of talent, And, we could meet them again. We could meet them again in the playoffs. They're going to finish second in our region probably. They've got a tough schedule. Had a little issues going on internally a few minutes ago, but they've got West coming up. They've got Anderson County coming up. But, they should finish second, and we might see them again.
Yeah, both of those huge games, and they're going to be tough games, no doubt, but they're non-region games. So ultimately, when it comes to playoff contention, those games really don't matter. What matters is what they're able to do against the region opponents, and they were 1-0 coming into this game, and now they're 1-1. And so, like you said, this is a team. There are teams I'd certainly rather face than this one come playoff time if I'm Oak Ridge, because this is a team that any time in the modern-day game, Dave, it all comes down, so much of this game comes down to quarterback play, and they've certainly got one of the best ones in East Tennessee. And you saw that last year when he almost single-handedly beat Oak Ridge, and you saw it tonight when he almost single-handedly beat Oak Ridge. And there's a lot more talent than just him, but it's a good Clinton team and an even better Oak Ridge team after tonight. But I do want to say, and I know we got to get off here, David, but the last thing I'll say is just what a game. I mean, it was one of the more fun, truly entertaining high school football games I've seen in a long, long time. And I just say kudos to both teams for putting on that performance, because it was a lot of fun to watch.
Alex, I appreciate that. We'll talk more about it on our show on Wednesday night. The Wildcats have Central coming up next week at Central High School, 4th game on the road consecutively. Let's close it out here. The Clinton people are saying we've got to go. They were coming, but we got to go. Like to thank our camera guys here today, Ben George, Zach Dorman, John Ulrich, along with Matthew Charles and Griffin Cox helped us out. Brian Bennett back in the studios. Mark and Shauna Haste. Mike Sheehan was up here. The final score once again, Oak Ridge defeats Clinton for the 14th consecutive year, 37-24, the final score. For all the people I mentioned before, until next week when the Wildcats take on the Bobcats at Central High School, this is David Clary saying, so long, everybody.
Thank you.